Alright. It is... it is time for more Final Fantasy XVI. I'm actually not sure what is the next big thingy, but I expect it to be the evil mid again. So... let me just check the hunt board again. And then... we will do the side quest and maybe try the big bad monster again. We're still 39, we didn't get a single level. Should get 1 or 2 maybe after the side quests, hopefully. Ah yeah, and thanks Wokron for the follow. Thank you very much. So we know where the big bad is and it hurts us. What about the pack? It's only C, and it's south of Tabor in Dalmatia. I'm sure we can do this. Hopefully. Oh, I have to continue the main story part. Ah, fine. South of Tabor in Dalmatia. Just try to remember that. Hey, Trustro, how are you doing? Are you not watching Brelix, or did you already finish? Hey Knaffle, Brelix finished early. Typical. That reminds me, I need to pet the dog twice more, something like that. Because it's a stupid achievement for that.
The 4 of us out walking like we used to.
Enjoying this, are you? Gav and the others could be in danger as we speak.
You're right. I'm
Oh, it's only Gav.
Yote is a fine scout. If Kandor was attacked, she will already...
Is Gav really important though? I don't think so. South of Tabor, they said, right? I have no idea where south of Tabor actually is. Or South Tabor. Let's see. Apparently not here. Not here at all. No, not here apparently. So I just assume it's somewhere around here.
have begun gathering information.
So maybe it will be on our way.
We
They find the pack. Yeah, see? Make for Tabor. And south of Tabor is the other pack.
Assuming they will allow it, the Echoes have a will of their own.
It was such an easy way, such a cheesy way to say, hey, there will be monsters coming. At least they're all bad. I wonder if he will get another kaiju fight. They're so good. Love them. So mad, who's bad. Oh, come on, I couldn't dodge that. Is there a monster somewhere? I guess they are below us? Unfortunate for you. Only for me, my waste of time is used up. Oh yeah, potion.
She's strong-willed, loyal, and deadly with a blade. Much like Clive, but with better manners.
Rude. Bum 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 bum. It actually was kinda easy. 9 sharp fangs. It was glowing golden, so I thought it would be something very, very good, but no. It was trash as usual. Who are you? Oh, is he a top bar? Oh, we will see, right? In a minute or two. Yo, wounded Republican soldier. Oh, you're not just wounded, you're dead.
You're injured.
Deadly
happened here?
injured.
Where are your comrades?
Ether flood up ahead. It swallowed our camp while we slept. My own men did this.
Hey Kino, I'm doing fine. It's Thursday already. Only one more day until there's the weekend. How are you doing?
There's a village not far from here. Tabor. The people were kind to us. It's only a matter of time before they won't stand a chance. We can't let those monsters reach the...
These people need my help.
Okay.
Oh, well that Kino, you're not feeling well.
Thank you.
Is it too hot where you are or what?
Just off the track.
I mean, poor Krebs, for example, he has to go, or had to go to Athens, where there's like 46 degrees. Yikes. We have very nice 20 degrees today. I'm very happy for that. Ich bin heute weniger müde, so you're less tired. Oh, that's always nice. I don't know how it's in England or the UK, I guess, but I find it always very difficult when you got like 20 degrees and then suddenly you got 40 and then back to 20 and so on.
The Akashic is still there.
All these switching, basically, that's not nice. It's somehow worse than if it would have stayed at high temperatures.
They're everywhere now.
We can't go around it.
Then we'll just have to be careful.
What do I actually need to do? Slay the Akashic. It's been pretty mild and rainy in the UK. Ah, yeah, it's true. I think
Got here in time.
someone told us. Ah, yeah, Finboy said it was rainy quite a bit. You have stolen our chat stream. Yeah, that's just what the EU does, right? Always to both places different. Yeah, it's just things that the EU does, just to spite UK, you know. Okay, the fight is super easy. You're not really doing anything. Baboon. There you go. Enemies slain. Is it really colder than normal in the UK?
Someone there! Please, I can't move my leg!
That doesn't sound like an Akashic.
Where are you, boy? Oh, the chest. Empty shard. I never had an empty shard yet before. Compared to a couple of weeks ago, yeah. Okay, but it could be just the weather being stupid as usual, right? It was very weird for my region with like 36 degrees. With mainly light jumper, but yeah. That's the guy. Of course it's a bit weird for someone to have that, right? A bit very weird. You expect short shirts and shorts normally.
You're with the battalion?
I am. I heard the fighting. Are the others?
Dead.
Taken care of. One of your brothers in arms told me what happened and asked for help.
Another survivor? Where is he? Tell me.
His wounds were too deep.
He was right to send you. Those things you slew are no longer my brothers. Tabor is safe thanks to you. Here, you've earned it.
And what did I get? A bit of renown.
You seem familiar. Have we met?
You must have me confused with someone else.
Wait.
That's Scar!
That's Scar. Son of a whore. You're Sid.
Yeah,
I was
still.
there in Cosnis when you killed my brothers. I was there in Rosalith when you killed my commander.
Dude, you were attacking us in Rosalith.
Over. I bear no ill will toward those who followed him.
What of my ill will?
Well, fuck you.
Coward! Draw your steel. Lord Kupka shall be avenged!
Such an idiot.
Fine. If you insist.
It actually was a choice. I'm not sure why that was a choice.
For Titan!
For Titan, that fucker? I'm so strong, I can kill them without doing anything.
You're in no fit state to fight.
Oh yeah, Lord Cookcape, that's the real name.
Come on. Kill me!
For what? The sins of your master. You and I have no quarrel. And I will not strike a man who cannot defend himself.
No. I won't be deceived. Lord Kupka told us of your crimes. You are an outlaw. A murderer, not some
Man. Like you or anyone else.
Oh, that's a bit sad.
You're nothing like you. But if you're not gonna kill me,
Well, at least he gave me my reward before, and the idiot.
leave! Just know that I will find you, Sid. Someday.
And what are you going to do then? So silly. Looks like England. In the sky, at least. Oh? Oh, yeah. the... I assume the city or the village or whatever where the trader is down is Tabor.
We're nearly there.
Have you been to Tabor before?
There are a few places I haven't.
I actually forgot why we needed to go here.
Where now,
I was
Joshua?
kind of bored
There
at
is
the
a
end.
residence just inside the city gates.
I just wanted to
She
find
awaits
a
us
good
within.
next talking point for the next game.
Welcome,
next stream.
welcome.
I didn't really find it.
Of course. Anything else? Of course. Anything else? Of course.
Anything else?
Anything else?
Of course.
A fine choice. Go safely.
Alright.
Feel like
Hey.
I've fleshed 100 skins today.
Doing. Ah, make letter working. I see. Oh yeah, this tower and top of tower are the gilded path probably are these others. These monsters I was looking for. Open Sesam. Sesame. Not sure how the English say that. Looks pretty empty so far. Da-dum. What's she doing?
My Lord Marquis, it is an honor. I am Yotei, Knight of the Undying, charged with the protection of His Grace Joshua Rosfield, Keeper of the Flame of the Phoenix.
I've never heard of these knights. Never.
It all makes sense now.
Does it?
Would you care to elaborate?
Does it to you, Chad?
The Undying are loyal servants to the ducal throne. Or more specifically, to its heir. They have served our family for generations.
Why are only telling you that when it happens? Why not before? So we
Their
know the
inception,
setting.
they have been
You can
tasked
say,
with
oh yeah, we
preservation
know
and
these.
enactment of the rites of ancestral communion.
Ah,
After the events at Phoenix Gate, it was the Undying who delivered me to safety. And since the day I left Rosaria, Yotei has been my constant companion and protector.
and what name is Yotei?
Without her sword, I would not have survived my journey across the realm.
Rise, Lady Yotei. You saved my brother. I owe you a debt I can never repay.
I but did my duty.
Come now, tell us what you've discovered.
Your Grace. It is as you feared. The vessel we spied off the coast of the Crystalline Dominion on the night of her fall. It was the Einherjar. Beyond any doubt.
The Black Galleon.
Joshua, the Einherjar is the Royalists' flagship. What business would they have in the Dominion?
Upon learning of Waloed's involvement in recent events at Drake's Fang, I sensed the malign influence of Ultima, and bid Yotei and the Undying look into the matter.
We have reason to believe that the Black Galleon weighed anchor shortly after the fighting began, and set a course due south.
For Canva. Then it is Waloeda knights who besiege the cities.
Who else?
What is
There's nobody
left
else
of them.
left, right?
Yes. And the Black Galleon sails at but one man's behest. Barnabas Tharm.
Was there a need for the silent R at the end? Meanwhile, the Agora, the free cities of
Are we
Conver.
truly safe here in the Agora?
The city guard have been paid, if that's what you're implying.
All the more reason for them to run.
Well, you are free to leave. Lord Minister. Markets abandoned, warehouses aflame, blackened hulls choking every port
Could
in
have
the
a
capital.
strange decision to call the dog Yota in English and give it a soft G. Wait, Kino. Yota is a girl!
Forgive us. We were not aware Dhalmekia now subsisted on charity.
How dare you?
Oh, look.
Distinguished members of the council, you must forgive His Majesty this intrusion.
Plot.
What is the meaning of this?
A trifle crowded, but I fear it will have to serve, my liege.
Very well.
My colleagues, do you not see? The king! He has come to save us from the Akashic.
Yeah, right. X verdammt.
He is a gift from the heavens, divine intervention, our
Gift
very
from
salvation.
Ultima.
And of course, if it is compensation he requires, we would be most willing to negotiate a fair price for services rendered.
Fools. Your ignorance unbecomes you.
Your Majesty, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, exactly, Josro.
I would swear that the fiends washing the cobbles of Canva with the blood of her citizens wear the colors of Waloed. Ha! So you do not deny it. Guards, fetter them, and see our guests to the dungeons!
Yeah.
Enough.
I mean, that guy is literally Odin, right? Do you really think like 6 guys would help? That's so silly. Also a little bit of weak storytelling, I
But you
he
should
feels.
imagine yourselves worthy of salvation. The girl is still here, somewhere in the
The
city.
girl? They're looking for Mid.
Consciousness fair dripping with her late father's hubris.
I knew it was Mid.
A consciousness to which Mythos is inextricably bound and inexorably drawn. See that he is made welcome.
Yes, Your Majesty.
It's a bit... Who was Mid father? The real Sid.
Come,
Sid also.
Mythos.
But still,
Surely the
we saw Mid
Prince's
in
light
the one
cannot
sequence where she
save
told
you.
us to get stuff, basically, right? And then ran away. That's all we knew of Mid, and that she studies here in Canva or something. That's it. And now the game expects us to care for Mid? I don't think so. Again, I feel the overall story points are great,
So then,
but the storytelling, the small
how long
details
has
in
Waloed
between,
been under Ultima's control?
it's bad.
How long indeed?
Or
Based on what we know of
Mid-link.
Barnabas's actions, I would guess some few years, mayhap more.
But to what end? What does Ultima want?
you.
The tapestry.
Hey, fun boy.
Show them.
How's the weather in your part of the UK? How it goes? Well, quite good. Today is Thursday. Tomorrow is Friday, so only one day left, and it's only like 7 hours or maybe 6 hours for me. And then it's the weekend. Grey, on and off rainy. So it's, you need to say it's a typical British weather, right?
Phoenix Gate, Drake's Breath, and now here. But what is it?
Ultima.
It is old, ancient, even.
Come on,
Naught
surely you know
remains
it,
of the
right?
faith it represents, save what can be gleaned from the image itself. None could tell me what the one in the apothecary meant, even the Undying.
So nobody knows it.
But I believe it may be the key to discerning Ultima's purpose. That figure in the center, the one beneath whom the icons congregate, that I believe to be Ultima. He is a god, or at least godlike, his very existence beyond our ken. The Icons, and by extension their dominants, are meant to be his subjects, and while some, like Barnabas, have accepted this role, others have rejected it, like you, Clive, which is rather inconvenient, as it appears he needs you most of all.
There's
And
so
gods
many
don't like to be
points
disobeyed.
just now. So many
No, I don't suppose they do.
unsupported points.
Clive, may I tell Yote of the lake?
The lake.
By all means.
Yote, I will be accompanying my brother to the Free Cities.
No, my lord, you can't.
Whilst we are afield, I would have you watch over those Clive has made his wards. Umielos delan tuisag ilith. Though well concealed, the hideaway lacks trained fighters to defend its occupants should they be discovered.
But it is my duty to...
As it has ever been my brother's duty, remember.
If that is your wish, Your Grace. But please be safe. If
So of course, Joshua will die. That's now set in stone, basically.
You have my word.
That was a harsh death flag.
Farewell, my lord, my lady.
We are in your debt, Yote.
The last time she saw Joshua.
Let's
So
find
weird.
our friends.
But it really feels like we are already in the end game, right? Not much left. It feels like, which is a bit surprising because we didn't play. Yeah, I mean we played quite a few hours, but not that much for Final Fantasy. At least it doesn't. Oh, even more side quests? You must be silly. Let's do that here first. I want to finish the side quests, so we don't have even more. We already have too many, it feels like. Besides,
The bandits may be known, but look what they've
it would be great to get the experience, so then maybe we can beat up the S-class
Hard to
monster.
find goods.
The gentleman of the town guard.
Dude, oh, every time I heard his name, sounds weird.
The finest cell salt in...
Could be I know something more.
Clive, listen! I found someone who says he's heard the rumors about Nan.
Have you?
Go on. Tell him what you told me.
All right. It's like I said. A wizened old crone by the name of Karen's been selling steel to whoever'll pay her price, be they knight or knave. Says the more swords and spears she puts in people's hands, the more war they'll wage. And the more war being waged, the more call for swords and spears. And who will they all turn to keep them in steel? Why, the good Reaper herself.
And you've seen this Reaper at work?
Aye, it just so happens I have. You'll find her right here plying her trade most days.
Here in Delamil? Where exactly?
She has a stall here in the market, but if you're not the patient type, you can probably find her at her storehouse on the edge of town. But it'd be a bolder man than me that braved that particular nest of vipers. Feeling bold, traveler? I hope so, for your sake. Now, if that's all, I have places to be.
Sorry to have kept you.
That quest also feels very weird
You
somehow.
don't think Nan's the Reaper, do you?
Not unless she's discovered the secret of how to be in two places at once.
Eh? What do you mean?
Lady Karen hasn't left the hideaway in weeks. So who has been running this store he spoke of?
Good question. I'll go and have a look.
I'll visit this storehouse on the edge of
German
town.
Hodor? No.
All right,
Nobody would say
be
good
careful, Clive.
to that. It would be Götz. I'm not sure what name that is supposed to be. What language. Maybe it's the Netherlands again, you know? And then at least you could blame Nitro or so. You know? Maybe it's Belgian. This would sound right.
What a mess.
Flemish? Perhaps it is just Japan English Deutsch. It's possible. But it really sounds very weird, and they wouldn't know a single German or German-speaking person that would pronounce it like that.
The Viper's Nest.
Not a single one. It's just completely wrong. But yeah, if you want to write a German name,
Just you, is it?
and you don't know how it works,
Thought I might have laid
and
it
you
on
try
a
to
bit
speak it and use English pronunciation rules,
So,
then maybe you're right.
It's up
It could
to
have
Die a slow death?
be like that.
Boys, he's all yours. But that sword is mine.
Yeah, that doesn't look very dangerous somehow. I mean, that's like 10 seconds of posturing, right? And then you look at that and say, I'm not scared. Oh yeah. Not a better idea to do this in between. Okay. So, that's on Joshua dying. I say he dies 100,000%. Just because all those marks, all those flags. Josh or chill? Josh. Josh and chill? Well, that's also possible, of course, right? But it's mainly about Josh. If Clive will die, it would only be at the very end. But Josh? Man, that was a heavy death flag from Yota. A very heavy one. I could imagine that it goes very Game of Thrones and maybe Chill also dies and whatnot. No happy end. Sometimes they do it like that.
Oh, you've done it now.
Go on. Tell me what I've
But
done.
Joshua, he's dead. He's so dead.
You've killed his men. He'll have your head. He
That's
only
so silly.
wanted that bull of a manservant, the dim one always clinging to Karen's skirts. You weren't even
Gaffin's left the
supposed to
Broken
be
King.
here. Who
Yes,
the
the
hell are
only
you
human in the
anyway?
whole world.
What were you going to do to him?
The Borgwyn wanted him to get to Karen. I was only supposed to point the lamp in the right direction once he arrived in Dalamil. But then you
Hand-holding is
turned
banned?
Well,
Only for hetero couples.
go on
It's
then.
okay for gays.
If you're going to end me, end me.
Yes, please
You're
let
not
me do
worth
that.
the effort.
Ah, come on.
Now be gone. Before I change my mind.
Fucking coward!
Yeah.
I need to find Goots. Right now.
Man, Goethe is more trouble than he's worth it, I think.
Get your filthy paws off me, you naughty painted lout! Stop calling me names! And stop spreading them horrible lies about Nan!
Well, that will be easy enough. For they are not lies. Every last word is true. And she must pay for her crimes in blood.
Blood?
Goose, are you all right?
He's gonna kill Nan! He said she had to pay in blood!
After what she did, it is only right. She ruined my life and the lives of countless others. That loathsome harpy's very existence is a crime, and I will not allow it to continue. Goose, was it? I have no quarrel with you. Only with your employer. Run along now. You need not pay for her sins.
No.
No?
I don't care what she did.
Oh, Goose.
You hurt Nan.
Now, actually, the Goose kind of sounds like how they pronounce his name. If I was playing quite a few things. Who's better, Goose or Mitt? Neither. What? What are you doing here?
But how did you?
You're a sight less clever than you think you are, the pair of you. Did you think I wouldn't notice the two of you slinking off together? Well, the whole thing got me thinking, who in Dalamil might bear me a grudge? And a certain snivelling shit I ran afoul of in my fairy years came to mind. Though it was just Bogan back then, wasn't it? I thought the years might have taught you some sense, but I see you're the same.
Yeah, it should be Kino. They should pronounce the name similar to that. Instead of Götze, Götz.
You bitch! Everything that happened, it was all your fault! And now you'll finally pay for what you did to
me! Yeah. We dealt with him in the off-screen.
You want a piece of Nan? You'll have to go through me.
Fuck.
You great galoot. Out of the way, I can
What's a galoot?
Myself.
I'm sure you'll explain it in a second.
Wet legs. You remember what you told me when we last met? An eye for an eye. Wise words, Sam. Wise words.
Yeah, that fits well.
And now it's time to collect.
Take his ex. Make him a girl. Oh yeah! She's missing an eye, right? I think Trussell saw that. That the one eye is a glass eye.
Keep you waiting.
Is he
dead? No. But I reckon he wishes he was. It's an easy going through life, one eye short of a pair.
Yeah, see?
After all, I should know.
You don't mean...
Oh, don't tell me you don't.
Oh, Finboy, did he just call Helden a simpleton?
We were working the same routes. Said I'd stolen from his strongbox. I'd done nothing of the sort, mind. But that didn't stop him taking his little revenge. So I took some of my own. Sorry, lost everything. His coin, his clients. Always knew he'd be back one day to claim his due. But he crossed a line dragging poor Goots into this. He didn't hurt you, did he?
No, Nan.
No, Kino, we all know that everyone in Yorkshire is a simpleton, right?
What if he comes
we
back
know.
Again?
Wink, wink.
What if he does? First we take the other eye, then we work our way down. He'll learn his lesson soon enough. But something tells me that Wet Legs has learned it already.
And neither do I. Kino, it's just a matter of fact, right?
To the hideaway. You've attracted quite enough attention already. Ta-ra, Clive.
Sounds like a soft northeastern accent to me. So, what? Scarborough or something like that? Isn't that like northeastern English? speak with Charon though at home. Let's do the side quest first, I think, right? So we got quests here, and I guess we need to go here for the free city of Canver. Middlesbrough is Mancunian. I don't even know what Mancunian is, man. Actually, do we have access to the world map? Yes, we have it again. Alright. So, quests here. We know. Let's go to Mouth of Rest, and yes, we can't beat the S-Class monster. We can't. From Manchester, ew! No, that's disgusting. Being either a Red Devil or Sky Blue. No good option there. Wait, what do we need to do here? Join Rutherford. Well, where's this guy?
Have you heard the latest from Twinside?
I guess he's upstairs and hides, maybe?
My Lord
Yeah,
Marquis,
here he is.
is that
I
it
knew
is
it.
you? Then you received my letter.
Yes,
I
Mr.
am
Smiling Man.
Sebastian Rutherford, chief steward
Rather
of your Lord
Foot?
Uncle's estate.
It is Ford, not Foot.
We met once before.
He said rather Foot right now, right?
Thank you for coming. And what was so
I
sensitive
hate
you
English
could
so
put
much,
into
man.
writing.
There are no rules in this stupid language.
My lord, I did not mean to offend. I merely... It's all right. Continue. I am here at
Kräuterfurt?
Martha's Rest.
Ah, it's an okay team actually. Time to switch to Japanese again? Oh god. I am tempted, Jethro. I am tempted.
And what I have learned,
But then the chat won't understand even less.
the fall of the mother crystals has left Storm in a state of utter
So
disarray.
Storm is the left continent, I think, right?
The subsequent darkening
But there's so
of
much
the
freedom. Yes,
heavens
there's
has only
too
made
much
things
freedom.
worse.
There are no
Casual
roots in
attacks,
freaking
once
English.
unthinkable, are now commonplace. The gears of governance
The problem,
have
Jethro, is if I
ground
wanted to
to
do
a
that, I
halt,
would need to go back
and
to the main
without
menu.
a
I
steady
can't do it
hand
in
on
the game
tiller,
directly.
The realm threatens to drift into utter chaos.
Chaos.
Your Lord Uncle, however, believes there is a way to avoid this fate, and is
Oh wait,
determined
he
to
could it.
see
Yeah, okay, then I have to do it, of course.
That
Fine,
sounds
give me a
like
second.
quite the undertaking. It is.
German has too many rules? Less than you would think, actually. The main thing German has above or against English, you could say, are the articles, right? Like die, der, das, instead of simply the.
Lost contact with two of those colleagues
I think that's really the worst thing.
They are both able-bodied and trained in the sword, yet in these dark times, even that may not prove sufficient to keep a man safe on the road. So you want me to find them? I'll need to know where they went.
So while speaking about Japanese, English, and German, I completely missed what the point from rather Ford, whatever, was, but I'm sure it doesn't really matter. We just need to find some people and beat them down. Or beat their captures down, whatever.
My way east. Thank you, my lord. I shall pray for your success and safety.
Thank you. So let me check it again. Maybe they fix it somehow. Could also be possible, right? Let's see. Audio is here. Having to conjugate verbs. Verbs, you say. Verbs? I mean, like, no, it's just having in English though, right? You have to eat, eaten, have eaten, will eat, would have eaten, and so on and so forth, right? In theory. And in German it's the same. Essen, gegessen haben, and so on and so forth. I don't think it's that back in that kind of regard. Save. Alright, let's see. Return to title. Doesn't change for different pronouns though. No. I eat, you eat, we eat. Ah, ich esse, du isst, wir essen. Yes, you're right. Where was the language? Oh yeah. Text language, we keep it English, of course. What do you have available? Japanese, I guess? Dangerous French, German, Hispana, Latino America, Italiano, Arabic probably, Polski, Brazil, Russian. Anyways, this is English, of course. Let's see here. Actually, oh, Josro, you wanted to have which language again? Japanese, right? You could also have French, German, Latin American Spanish, or Italian. Are you sure you want to have Japanese or none of the others? Nah, Japanese? Alright. Japanese, alright. But I tell you right now, the curry only works for an hour. I will keep it like that, but for next stream I will change it back, if nobody else is currying in between, right? I think an hour is fair. Actually, do I need to go? In Dalmill. Ah, I need to go back to there again. Well, fine. At least I know where it is. Namely here. Ah. Man, the voice of Clive is so different. What would happen if someone would curry a different language straight away? I mean, I would just do it. As an hour cooldown, maybe I would do less, but I would do it at the very least half an hour, because it would be, it would kind of suck if you would over curry a curry, right? That's an a-hole move, and I don't like that. So it would be at least half an hour. Depends how I feel about it, and then we can get another language too, of course, but only after at least half an hour is over. That sounds so weird. The voice is so completely different, man. The English one is deep, big bad man. And Japanese one is, hey, I'm not 18, I'm 20 already, right? That's how it sounds to me. And that's it. Game ogre for you. Interestingly enough, it sounded like the grunting from the attack was the same one. The same type of voice, oh yeah. Probably different culture. No, I don't think it's like that. It's simply a different voice actor, right? It's also a big reason why I prefer to watch. Like animes or whatever in the original language, because it's like a completely different language simply. Not a language, like a completely different character. The voice is very important. How you feel a character. Yeah, I think voice character. Yeah, sure, but you can only do so much, right? If it's a person that is connected, as in, I don't know, English as a very masculine person, and then he has a voice like that, and he can only go so far. But this voice, that sounds like he's 20, right? I mean, not like a child, not like a young man. It does sound like a man, but not an old man. It depends on the voice. Thing is, the voice can be so different that it changes how you feel about a character. I mean, I don't know. I wonder how Dutch man is in Japanese. Or how it sounds in other languages like Italian, Latin American, Spanish, or what was it? Portuguese or whatnot, right? German. I would never watch a live action foreign language dubbed, however. I mean, that's because you're English. Because 99% of the movies available in Germany are all dubbed, always, all the time. If you go to the cinema, they are all dubbed in English, in German. All of them. It's so rare that you hear another language. And I guess it's the same in French and the other major languages too. I need to go to Northreach anyways for another side quest, I think. Let's see, open world or Mappo, right? I watch a lot of subtitled noir. Don't most cinemas have English movie nights now? No, maybe in the big towns, but in my 50k town, very, very rare. We actually have in my town internationally known movie weekend, something like that, where new movies are presented all the time. It's actually a pretty big thing, and that's basically the only thing where we do stuff like that. I don't mind dubs, but subtitles do take more effort. Not for me. I'm simply used to it. I'm reading so much in English, both for work and private, that I'm really used to reading English, and I'm also used to, well, read it. Not just listen to it, but really read it. And so it's really no big deal for me. I do it automatically. I think it's more like getting used to. But you, as the English master race, of course, you're not used to it. Because it would be very rare for you that you have to adapt in that regard, right? Frank watched so much anime that subtitles became second nature to him. Actually, not wrong. Both that and computer games were the biggest things for me where I learned to speak English. Besides school, of course. You'd be surprised how much that was. Because I remember in the good olden times when I was watching anime at Vox or something stupid like that, 20 years or 30 years ago, well, 20 years ago, let's say, right? It was Japanese with English dubs, actually, because they didn't take any effort to translate it, simply used the already available version and showed it in TV. And I thought, man, that's amazing. So, you know. It used to not be too bad, but I don't that much English anymore. I mean, for me, my English pronunciation is not very good, of course, because I am not speaking enough with English native speakers, right? But overall, I speak and read so much English all the time. It really is close to native language for me, so it's no effort for me at all. Knuffle this, the evil French again. I knew something was wrong with him. And I can't believe Chosso carried that. Rockford. Rank 32 to England? Yeah, but why would I do this? I already got English weather at home. I'm here in the Bavarian Siberia, is how we call it. And we say, a normal day in my town, that's rainy. I can listen to children's Swedish shows? No, I don't really understand it. But isn't enough Swedish dubs. Well, look. From what I've heard from Jake, you're very lucky that there are not much more Swedish dubs or subs. Oh, maybe it's because he's playing. Oh yeah. On top of that, I've not really heard of the Swedish language for real. I don't know how difficult it is, or if it's somehow weird or not weird. I have no idea. That one was pretty low, barely 30k. Oh, I forgot about the second attack. This is probably the easiest language for English to learn, really. Isn't that Dutch, for example? Or hell, really German too, because of French. There's a big amount of the English words, and even English grammar is taken from German and French. Yeah, that's what I would say, rather, Finboy. I'm not sure what the grammar or the general language structure is in Sweden or Norway or whatnot. Those are the most similar in terms of words. Nah, I'm pretty sure that it's actually French. You got so many words from the French language, man, it's insane. Yeah, that's what you do in Dutch, actually. And also the other way around in German. There's so many words from England, or from English. When I see them, I know exactly what it means, because there's a similar word, like 99% similar, in German too. And I heard a few times that Dutch is really, really easy and close for English speakers to learn. I can't really comment on that, because the Dutch language sounds like a cutsy German language to me. Whenever I see it, it's really weird. Rokofodo. Dutch is very hard to pronounce. I think that might be a general issue with English, because the way how the English pronounce, or you English pronounce your words is kind of weird for Germans too. I mean, what is wrong with the English language, man? Why do you write H-E-R-B, sorry, and name it herb, instead of saying herb? Why? Why do you have Worcester sauce and other things? Worcester, whatever. It's so weird. There's so many exceptions in the language. That's probably the biggest problem for me when I would have to learn English again, that there's so many exceptions how you say a word. Something is like that, and then this is ignored, and this is now suddenly the French pronunciation and whatnot. Blame America for not saying H in herb. You say herb? So you say herb and not herb or earth or something else? Yeah, can I heal? Does it heal me? You say herb with the H, like I said it right now, right? Herb. Yeah. Okay, in that case, you're excused, and let's blame the Americans. Just compare creature with creation. Yeah, that's right. The first 5 letters are the same basically, but you speak it differently. Cre, cre. But I'm not going to do the English. It's too easy, I'm afraid. Oh yeah, is any one of you actually watching the Women's World Cup Loughborough? Is that how you say it? Pretty sure. Isn't Loughborough was Norwegian or Swedish, right? It was from one of the Vikings, I think. Loughborough? You can't tell me it's Loughborough. That's silly. Surely it's Loughborough, right? It's probably some Danish menace or something like that. That was a part of the, what was it called? The Dane something? Yeah, that's really weird. What do we need to do here actually? We are at 3. 3 tells me to obtain, defeat some Wyvern and Bonnet. Dane Law, yes, that was it. So there's something already there, I assume I need that. The Dane Law. Dane Law? Yeah, I assume that wasn't that long actually, right? It was like, how long? Like 100 years top? But for some reason, you really took over so many words. And kept it for a super long time. I would have thought that maybe the French were worse. Burrow means it was a Germanic name. From Burford. I would have thought more like from burrowing when I heard it first, to be honest. Burg? Burrow? Ah, that's where it meant from. Don't worry, Nissan. I don't need any skill. Dameda! Reptile liver. That was number 1, and the other part is here. So then we need to go back to Martha's Rest, speak with Charon. Oh, that's good. I still find the ability from Wings of Light so weird. I mean, it's nice, but it loads so slow, right? On the other hand, could in theory... Can I load it already? No. It doesn't do anything, right? Sad. One of our big problems was that no one could ride early on, so spamming was all over the place. We never went back and formalized everything. I mean, many people say that English is the bastard language, right? Everything goes, everything is mixed and whatnot. May I just if you level up? I don't think so. I already leveled up the skill itself. And I forgot what I wanted to say. English, something. Ah yeah, writing. Actually, I think it's as far as I'm aware, it's a big misconception that nobody really could write in the Middle Ages. I think I read something that actually quite a few people could write. Maybe not very much, not very explicit or very nice, but at least a few simple words and so on. I think everyone could do that. But of course, everyone would do that on their own, right? There's no a nationalized language or something like that. No nationalized rules. Same with the depiction of the Middle Ages in most movies. Always very dreary, very dark, everything ruined and so on. And the people, they were wearing colorful clothes, for example. They were having good lives. So it would vary by location. Yes, exactly. Of course, that's similar to German too. Still today, if you go to another village, they may have their own slang, their own dialect. But sometimes, someone, I don't know how, someone said, hey, this language here, this is High German, and that's the general language, how you speak it, how you write it. Latin was spoken only by a class that could mostly write, and it screwed up its pronunciation as well. Yeah, and then there was the Vulgar Latin, which most people actually spoke, right? Also a point. We never had high English. Yeah, that's probably the thing. I wonder why. Why do we have some kind of High German, actually? I have no idea, actually, where that came from. None. No, that's rule for the Germans? No, I think everyone in Germany would have said, no, my German is the real German, so someone would have needed to declare that. And I don't know how it actually started. High English is probably BBC English, Royal English, yeah, but it's mostly pronunciation, right? Not how you write words or stuff like that, or maybe what words are correct and what not. Because here, like, again, every region has their own words for things, completely different. For example, the buns in German are mostly called Brötchen. That's the most normal translation. But in my town, we have a very localized one called a Bagala, which nobody says any. Yes, and it's Semmel, which most people in probably Bavaria say. And many others. So, who said that Brötchen is the normal one, you know? Wecken, yes. There's so many. Bredla. Oh, someone is dying. That's what I mean. Who decided on the normal thing? Are we in a cooking show now? In a cooking manga? Are people getting naked and getting orgasms?
今の僕は空を制した竜騎士です。成功したみたいじゃないか。
もうヒヤヒヤしたわよ。でもこれなら安心して出せそうね。
はい、これも絶対に人気料理になりますよ。僕が
It's an action adventure manga. And a cooking manga apparently. At least with cooking reactions.
その時はまたお願いしますね、シド。ああ。 またいつかな。
Specken to specken. Not to be outdone, we're getting close to another level. Close. Let's change the music to the new piece we received. Yeah. What was it? Oh, I think it's a good one. At least it's very much action. Ah, Sharon. I want my kaiju music, man. I want it so bad.
とんだ騒ぎになっちまった。
ごめんよ、ばあさん。俺、ばあさんを守らなきゃって。ばあさんはこんな俺を引き取ってくれた恩人だから。
確かに私は親に虐待されてたあんたを買い取ったさ。この右目の代わりになると思ってね。だから店のことをやってくれてるだけで十分だ。余計な心配をしなくていいんだよ。
でも俺はまだまだばあさんの役に立ちたいんだ。
そこまで言われちゃ仕方ない。これからはもっと頼らせてもらおうか。
I wonder if the English translation matches with the Japanese spoken words.
頼もしいじゃないか。
独り立ちしてくれりゃいいんだが、いつまでも子供みたいで参っちまう。世話をかけたね、クライブ。今回の例だよ。取っておいてくれ。
カロン。
I didn't hear Dalmilil in what she currently just said.
改まって。私はこの場所を気に入ってるんだ。もうしばらくは好き勝手させてもらうよ。
That's what she says, but she gives me money for it, right? No, she doesn't. She actually doesn't. Oh, what's this? Displayed in Clive's chambers. Wikipedia says that High German used to only be a written language mainly influenced by Luther, and later got shed until the 1800s, but doesn't say why. In the 1800s, it started to supersede local dialects. Probably the German Reich. I'm just saying that, but it's probably right. Because that was the time when German nationalism sprang up, and I guess they used the language, the dialect, and that's it. Hey, I don't want to talk to you, I just want to buy stuff. I don't care! Sharon! Can you no longer buy stuff here? Yeah, this is what I think, right? That it happened around that time and everyone knew about Luther and the empire of... Oh, last elixir, what's that? Up and KO automatically restores all HP, fills limit gauge. Okay! What did I want to say? But anyway, I think it's connected to that, right? That they said, that the Prussian Empire was Protestant anyways, or maybe there was another point why they used that. Who knows? But I think we're pretty right with that idea, right? Also has been increasing public schooling. Could very well be, after all, with industrialization. Oh, what's this? What is this? It's yellow! Stained loincloth and marble flower. Look, yeah, it could very well be. Because due to industrialization there was more schooling in general, as far as I'm aware, and so maybe that also helped. But the Prussians selected that, and the Prussians won after all the struggle with the Austrians, and so their way of German was maybe taken and used in school. Could be very well possible. We also had people like Brothers Grimm releasing German dictionaries. Yes, that's true. The 1800s was really a time of Germanization in many ways. Give me my reward, Desiree. Good point, you know. Newfound purpose. Since I remember, I've served none but myself. Oh, we get another orchestral roll. And Amber. Turned my back on the world for a handful of silken heavy pearls. But where has that left me? It is hard to keep joy in one's heart when all those around you are without. Thing must change. And a change must start with me. What does Kimo say? Whereas we didn't have a unification of the UK really at the time. I mean, you already had the UK, right? You had quite a few internal wars. Quite a few. And they were very bloody also. But it was still the UK. It was different in belief and similar things, but you stayed the UK. Yes, we still know that. Not by 1800s? Weren't you already the UK at that time? I thought you were. The veterinary area. I mean, you could argue that the war with or rather the various wars, like the independent war of the Americans, right? That this was an inter-English war. You could argue that.
いい儲け話があるんだが乗らないかい？内容次第だな。まあ話だけでも聞いていきなよ。つい先日行商からの噂を耳にしてな、老練なドレッドエビスがコラバ牧地に現れたと。獰猛な魔物だが長く生き抜いたやつの外皮は一級品だ。そいつを取ってきてもらいたい。その皮をどうするんだ？
You would argue for English French War too? Well, I'd rather argue it was an English Civil War and the French meddled into it. But yes.
分け前は俺とあんたで半分ずつ。どうだ？いい話だろ？
I mean, I do it, but I'm really bad at fighting the Avis. They tend to kick my ass.
そう言ってくれると思ってたよ。こんなご時世だからこそ稼げるときに稼いでおこうじゃないか。コラバ牧地はそこか。
Which reminds me, the item I just bought, is it used automatically? The last elixir thingy? Come on, game. Let's see, items, I guess, right? Yeah, last elixir. Up and KO, so it is used automatically. That's pretty good. Maybe with that together we can beat up the evil level 50... What's his name was? Sorgat, something. Who are you? Svarog, exactly, thanks. Is it Dion? Because we rescued Cyril. What if F is Cyril? And where's Dion? Didn't he survive? Ah, Yote is engaged.
大丈夫。護衛のことなら心配いらない。兄さんがいるからね。
So he said Nisan in Japanese, which means brother, right? And in English it was the first shield. So they changed the text quite heavily, because it has different implications, of course.
彼にはこのタボールでアルテマに関する調査を取りまとめてもらっている。各地に派遣した兄弟員の調査報告はすべて彼のもとに集まるんだ。
アルテマの調査を。
主命により。 我らも微力ながら閣下にご協力申し上げます。すべてはフェニックスの望みのままに。
Nisan, the other Yakuza? No. Our brother said Nisan to us. And Nisan simply means brother, right? But the Nisan in Japanese was first shield in English. So that's the quality of translation, I guess. I don't trust Cyril somehow. I don't know, he looks evil. Ah, we get another side quest token. We kept the Phoenix down. I mean, in this case, I would say it's okay, because there's, you know, the first shield, he's back and is watching me. But it's still a different connotation, right? As in the Japanese, where it says, hey, my brother is here and watches over me. That's a little bit different. Not bad, but different, simply. And that's also what I have with, or why I like to watch the original language. Because, again, it does sound different, simply. Where is the quest guy? And that changes how you feel for a character. Yeah, something like that. How can I get there? Ma protection jetzt. Maybe this way? That looks about right. Hello, Milos. Milos. You're an old man.
見るからに体力はありそうだ。わしの研究を手伝ってみる気はないかな。
研究？あんたは学者なのか？
こう見えて、その界隈では名の知れた民族学者でな。遠方からはるばるやってきたのだ。ここタボールの成り立ちを研究しておったのだが、この村の複雑な構造がわしの想像をはるかに超えておっての。歩き回っとるうちに足腰を痛めてしまってもう動けんのだよ。そこでだ、わしの代わりに調べ物をしてくれんか。もちろん報酬は弾むぞ。どうだ？
Yes.
引き受けよう。何をすればいい？
It's a side quest after all, so I want renown.
石碑があるのは知っておるか？ほら、あそこ見てみ。あの丸屋根の下だ。村の南と北、さらに東に一つずつある。
I hope all of you are understanding that.
指紋が刻まれておるはず。何が書かれておるか確かめてきてくれ。その内容さえ分かれば研究もはかどるだろう。
碑文か。分かった。少し待ってろ。
それでは頼んだぞ、若者よ。
Alright, so we need to find 3 pavilions, read some stone thingies, and then get back to him so that he can piece together, well, the pieces. Oh, a chest. Don't mind me. Just taking what is mine. Alright, this should be number 1. Wanderers of the Golden Plains, lay your roots in stone, with pride recall the noble past, and make these rocks a home.
遊牧民がここに移り住んだようだな。
Alright, easy enough so far, makes perfect sense. Stop being a hunter and become a farmer, basically, right? Where's the next one? They're all somewhere here. Oh, another chest. Thank you, thank you. Ah, number 2. Guardians of the Crystal. Guardians of the Crystal. The first stones of Tabor. Sacred hold thy noble blood, till ends the mother's labor. So basically they were dominants, maybe? Or it's just about the crystals. Do we ever know? And there's a third one. That was easier than expected. And of course it means it was a big amount of busy work. Not really worth the time actually. Children of the hunters, now tillers of the land, reaper promise blessing and give praise a gracious hand. Gracious hand, I guess? Not gracious, but hey. Where was the guy? I was behind that actually. Oh wait, it was somewhere above there. Hey, old man. Give me a loot.
碑文を確認してきたぞ。
さすがだな、若者よ。
And actually, you didn't even need to go any stairs or any level. You could have just walked there.
まずは南の石碑からだ。あれには何と書いておった？
I have no idea which one of the south it was. I guess it was the first one. Movie Guardians? No. Republic? No. So it must be God of the Crystal.
マザークリスタルを守りし者の一派はこの地に礎を築いた。クリスタルが輝く限りその血筋を絶やしてはならない。これで間違いない。
なんとタボールを築いた祖先はかつてはマザークリスタルを守っていたと。
What fallen?
なぜ彼らがこの地を選んだのか。
Who are these fallen? Why were these fallen protected by the crystals? Did we miss that in the story? Did I forget about that? I assume it means those that lost the battle against the gods and were protecting the crystals somehow?
黄金の平原を渡る遊牧民はこの地に安息を見出した。タボールにとどまりし後もその誇りは失ってはならない。確かこう書かれていたはずだ。
ほう、遊牧民族がこの地に居ついた。彼らの文化と混ざり合ったということだな。よし、次で最後だ。東の石碑には何と書いて
Alright, what was the last one? Should the hunters now sworn to serve? No. Tillers of the land. That's it.
大地の恩恵を受けし狩猟部族はこの地に繁栄をもたらした。タボールを守りし万物の恵みに感謝を忘れてはならない。そう書かれていた。
確かにタボールは狩猟文化によって支えられておる。それは外からもたらされたものだったのか。マザークリスタルを守りし者の一派と遊牧民、そして狩猟民族か。しかも内容から察するにどうやらそれぞれ異なる民を指すようだ。このタボールの独特な文化は異なる文化が混ざり合ったがゆえかもしれんな。
Yeah, it was so difficult we had to read 3 tablets.
異なる民のことを刻むとは研究のしがいがあるわい。
Yeah!
役に立てたようだな。
協力に感謝するぞ、若者よ。約束の報酬だ。受け取ってくれ。
You know what, Milosh? I made it up. It was all fake news. Oh, but we got a level 40 then. Right? Not yet? I guess it must be very close. Oh, why is it here? Oh, not. Don't worry. Oh, can we just go there? There's a way here, right? Let's see if we can go to here. Where can we go? Down? Here. And then we need to go to the southeast, which is the other way around actually. Oh, come on, let me just jump down, please. Yes, in this direction. Slay the dread Aziz on the fields of Kurava. I surely will. Alright, is it here? Yes. I totally. Also, south of something something, there was another special monster class which could be around here. It looks very feasible for another round of fighting. Yes, I am. Thanks for asking me, Joshua. Alright, it was called something the pack, I think. And there's a pack of thingies, so maybe that's them? It is. Give me renown. The pack. 10 renown. Oh, I forgot about this. Let's get mega flaring. Oh! I see. The dodge actually gave me quite a bit of layer. I just need to stop fucking it up. See? Well, I did the first one right at least. Come on. Yeah, see? That's how it works. Ah, that was a trick. Well, more or less. You just need to dodge correctly. And then you can load it up very, very quickly. And it's fun, look! It's still attacking them. Now it stops, okay. I like how heroic the music sounds. I wasn't ready. How stupid was me? At least they should actually push me to my level 40. That should mean... Oh wait, not dying. It should mean... that I get healed, so... Hopefully no additional means. What's the language cognates? Cognates was the word I was thinking of, and the rest were the same. Yeah. It could also be a synonym, I think, right? Also that's somehow slightly different. Kamare! Exactly. Exactly, that's what I wanted to say. Hold on! Notorious Mark, slain, and this is now definitely enough experience. Level up. 40. Now, Cognate is where the word is the same or very similar in two different languages. Ah, okay. I didn't actually know that, to be honest. So basically it's the opposite of a false friend, right? More or less. There are many false friends. German and English. Something very weird, and I'm... Yeah, exactly. That's what I figured out. It's... What's very weird is... Do you guys have any idea why the Germans say handy to mobile phones? Personally, I believe there were some demo or so very early, and someone was saying, "Look, this is very handy to have," and then the German vendor said, "Yeah, this is a handy." That's my idea about that. Ah, possible. But the thing is, in German we don't have handy as a word at all, right? So it's completely stolen from English. Yeah, that's true. If I say stolen, I meant rented from English. Footpath? A loan word? Yeah. But normally loan words are similar in meaning, right? Or the same thing. And nobody in English would think about saying handy to a mobile phone, right? So that's really weird. I wonder how that came to be. I'm sure it's a very interesting story. And again, doesn't know, I simply believe it's something stupid like someone in the demo said it's handy. That's my personal favorite. And it's ogre already. Oh, what's this? An obelisk. Wait, we don't already have that, right? I think it's an obelisk at least. I wonder how many Germans have got into trouble asking for handy. Probably too many. Who are you? Okay. What is this actually? Troubled? Well, I can't go in there, so I assume we'll be able to go there later. Probably too many. I would assume it's one of the favorite things to make fun of Germans in English, to be honest. Besides, don't mention the war, of course, right? Alright, that's a bit the dread of it, I guess. Nice game of Rasenballsport. Yeah, look, nobody says that in German. It makes no sense. Otto? Yeah, Otto was pretty good. The Ostfriesen guy, you mean, right? Yeah, really, nobody says that. I'm not talking about that. The fun is, Rollig, where you could understand it that something is rolling, of course, right? But if I would hear Rollig in German, I would think of cats. You know why? Because when a cat is in heat, exactly, it's called Rollig. Especially a cat. I'm not sure if it's also for other animals. I think it's only for cats. But still, right? The cookies with Rollig, yes. Rollig means basically dumb but cute, something like that. Actually, I was pretty good in this fight. But it would be very funny if some Norwegian would go to a German and say, "Hey, wanna be Rollig?" And because we would think of a cat, right? And it would be very weird for us. By the way, Franco, where I live, the word rammeln is used for running fast. Well, rummel means like fucking like an animal, right? That's what it means in Germany. Rammeln. Basically, a hare, for example. If they have sex, that would be rammeln. And sometimes hares are also called Rammler. At least the male ones in Germany. So if someone would say, we are going rammeln, I would say, okay, have nice, don't forget to use a condom, right? A bit different.
こうも簡単に手に入れてくるとは話を振って正解だったぜ。あんたやはりただ者じゃないな。どうだ、いっそのこと俺と組まないか。俺とあんたの腕があれば大富豪も夢じゃないぞ。悪いが遠慮しておくよ。他にやるべきことがあるからな。この出会いは運命かと思ったんだが無理強いはできないか。引き止めて悪かったな。
The desert rabbit ramble. You know, Finboy, that sounds like some kind of gacha game, where instead of having all the ships made into hot girls, it's all tank commanders made into hot girls, and then the hot desert rabbit has the special ability of rammeln. Something like that. I would be very amused by this. Have you now barely 40, right? Yeah, let's just continue. I'm not sure if we could... Well, maybe we could actually beat up the other guy by now. Because the S-Class monster... Should we try the S-Class monster or not? I mean, we got only 1 level, so he's still 10 level or a fifth of our levels above us. But we also have now this one drink that will resurrect us, so I don't know. In the end, we also have a real difficulty with people using words to not mean what they actually mean. With a lot of foreign students at university struggling with that. Like, someone says something interesting, it probably means it's shit. Well, it would have been nice to know more examples, to be honest, or rather a real example. But in general, I understand it, of course. It's a classical, oh, look at my tattoo, it's Chinese and it means I'm cool. No, it means barrel. That's a classic, right? I'm sure it's the same in English too. But I would have preferred an example so that we can really laugh about the exact thing. There's nobody saying anything, we will not be going for the S-Class monster, because we would be destroyed anyways, I think. Alright, this should be a good position for playing with Rebirth. It's great how much it does for our limit gauge. Besides the damage in itself, of course. I figure 42 would be a good level to actually go for the S-Class. It's still 8 levels more, but I would feel more secure in our ability to actually attack and beat it by then. There was... Ah, behind us. Well, there's nothing though. You see, this part on the map, it looked like there could be something, but as you can see, no. So you come up with an idea and your boss says an interesting idea. Ah, that's what you mean. I thought it would be something like that. What you describe is sarcasm, right? Oh, yes. It's a very interesting idea. I will think hard about this the next time. Never ever. Yeah, but that's basic English politeness, is how I would describe it, or how I learned it, rather. Like, not saying you are shit or you feel like shit. Instead saying, yeah, it's all fine. The world is ending, but it's fine. That's the English way. Or at least how it's presented in the media. To always be polite, never to inconvenience. While the German would say, yeah, it's shit. Yeah, basically, Kino, basically. I don't know if I was born to be German mentally. No, there's only one person to be born German mentally, and that's Kaladin. And he hates it, which makes me love it even more. I mean, honestly, every second sentence Kaladin says, you would think he's the proto-German guy. And then all these lists and structures and excels for Civ multiplayer. But if you really want to talk about something, you have to say in a way which obviously it really isn't fine. Look, Kino, I'm sure that's alright normally. Something like that, or is that too much on the nose already? What do we have a side quest here? Do your players spreadsheet games. I mean, I play Europa Universalis 4. I play CK3. I played EVE Online. I played the German football managers. These were football managers, but based on the economic side. Sorry, Mr. Trenko. Which part? What I said. That's fine normally or in a normal situation. VR Football? Yes, no. VR Football is from the same makers which made Anstoß or the Anstoß series, but it has not the same amount of quality it had in its time. It's quite different. I think I told it on the stream. Close. Anstoß. Anstoss. It's actually available on GOG, but it's only German, very sad. I showed it on the stream for a short while. And it's fun, it has quite a few things like black tills? No, how do you say for that? Hidden secret stash of monies, you know? And the new VR Football is a bit slush font, yes, thank you. The new VR Football is a bit too clean for that, and it's missing quite a bit of polishing in my opinion. Although it's fun. I think I played that. Was that where you started watching me actually, Kino? I'm not sure. Because at VR Football I played some stupid Andorian team, I think. And got my ass handed to my fellow Andorians. Yeah, you have to say I'm fine. Emotional distance this way. Look, Kino, I'm fine. Yeah, I think that was it. Yeah, okay. I would kind of like to revisit it, but I'm not sure if I want to because it really feels unpolished, you know. I would love to play more somehow, but it feels so unpolished. I don't know. It feels so lifeless. Sterile, you know? And while I like the English Football Manager, I really prefer more the economic side, where you manage the advertisements, the stadium, the parts around the stadium, where you build your stadium, where you do transfers and management. That's what I like in this game, to be honest. I'm fine. Yeah, but it's too easy. Yeah, and I'm not actually a big fan of going to the nitty-gritty details of the technical part, like talk to your 3 players in a game and tell them why they play bad. Or do the tactics, but not in general, but in excruciating detail for every game, and you have to do it every time for 5 hours. You know, it's fun to play it in a more limited way, where you say, yeah, I want to play offensive, and go over the left side, and you, code trainer, you make that happen. Thank you very much. And then you do that, you play the football, where you say, yeah, that's cool to watch, and get the player for it, ensure the players have the training available to do that and stuff like that. That's what I remember from the German football managers, like Anstoß, like the Bundesliga manager or the FIFA manager games. And that's what I would like to see again. And which I'm interested in VR Football because it goes in a similar way. But it simply feels too sterile currently, at least to me. Maybe they change it, maybe they will fix a few things and I say, yeah, it's great now. But I didn't like it yet. Well, I liked it, but not as much to continue playing it. I would like to continue playing it, but I have so many other games I also want to play, you know. Oh! Big jump here. And since there are so many other games I also want to play, it's missing out, because it's not as good as these other games, at least in my opinion. I would like to see a director of football role playable in FM. Yeah, I would prefer if FM had more options besides the pure manager part, the pure team manager part, let's say, right? Like really, the thing you could do in Anstoß, for example, or the old FIFA football manager was, you had you could buy land around the stadium, and when you bought that, you could build everything there. You could build there a second stadium. You could build there a laboratory to figure out how you best do get better training for your players, or I don't know. You could build a skyscraper which you could use to get money, or you could build an airport so that more people could go to your team's matches, and you would have an easier way to get to away matches. Stuff like that, you know? And that was fun for me. And if FM would allow something like that, or the new one, and that you could concentrate on that and give all the nitty-gritty parts to your code trainer, that the code trainer has to say, yeah, that's a detail, player 5 runs to here, and you only say, we play offensive and over the left side, stuff like that. I would love it, I would buy it every year. Oh, I need to concentrate a little bit more, sorry. And the thing is, VR Football tries to do that again, or tries to go in this direction again, but again, it's not. It doesn't look like a quality game currently. It looks very sterile, not that many options, and somehow not enough. So if again the English FM would do that, it would be great. So now let me read. I would like to see Director Football role playing in FM. Yes. More like Salihamidzic's role before he got fired. Yeah, something like Salihamidzic. Basically everything besides the real team manager. You can say, as Salihamidzic, for example, we want to play offensive trainer. Sorry, manager. It's a manager in English, right? Manager. And please try to use our star player whenever you can. Something like that. Basically, where the team manager gets his orders, how that the team in general wants to play or should play, and he tries to make that happen, and you do other things besides that. Transfers, advertisements, build up the stadium, build up training camps, and so on and so forth. I think in Anschluss time, I think German managerial structure was already more developed at England time. A manager attended everything. Yeah, that could also very well be. In German, most teams were used or done like a company. Highly structured. Yeah, you're completely right. VR Football does not know it, I think. And it's a big, big point. Because I was thinking, hey, it's from the old Anstoßmacher, so do I also have a slush fund? Do I also have funny faces and other things that are, let's say, shady? And it had a few of these things, but only a few, and the rest was super sterile. Again, something's not right. I mean, what do we say not right? I still think the makers of this game did not have that a big amount of money. So they probably did very well with what they got. I think it's even crowdfunded, at least partially. But still, you know? Still. If there would be a real a game like Anstoß, but also in English and modernized a little bit, I would love it. And I would certainly play it more. Right now, I think the game is not bad, but it's not good enough to qualify for place of my time with the other games that are available. That's its main problem, at least again for me. Actually, what did we currently do? We killed a few beasts, right? I have no idea why we actually did what we did.
カシロクの魔物を片付けてきたぞ。ありがとうクライブ。これは報酬よ。受け取って。これでひとまずベアラーの居場所は確保できたわね。大急ぎで整備しないと。あとはベアラー買い取りがうまくいけば。まだ時間がかかりそうなのか。 ええ。今も私の仲間が交渉を続けてくれてるけど、なかなか大変みたい。相手は軍だもの。いつも通りにはいかないわ。でも、必ず
What could also be
成功させ
fine
てみ
is
せる。
if your football would have, let's say, a realistic mode, and there would be some kind of setting, some kind of checkbox they would say, I want to play in shady mode or in funny mode, and this would directly tell you, yeah, don't worry, most things we do here are not real, they're just overly dramatic and overdoing it in a funny way. And then you have that enabled. Yeah, something like that, right? Because I could imagine that they would never get license or advertisement or whatnot if they say it's or there are slush funds and everything is bribed and whatnot. But if you say, hey, there's an additional game mode and everything is just fun, don't worry so much, maybe that would be a work too. Italian mode, Juventus Finances mode. Don't you mean PSG mode? Or Barca mode? I mean, it's everywhere a little bit, right? The lack of sportsmanship games in general, yes, you're completely right. Only other good game that FM is okay is Out of the Park Baseball. Most of the manager was okay too, Messi mode, yeah. I mean, I think at the stream where I showed off the game, I also showed off for a short amount of time the Ice Hockey Manager game, which was super old, but I loved it because it was great fun. And I don't know, was there some other old manager game too? Could be. Can we dictator EAFC? I mean, you can dictator everything. As long as I can somehow stream it, which was a problem for a few of the games from Jostro and from Freeport, then I will always do it, no matter how stupid it is. But of course you need to spend the point for it. And it's only 2 hours, probably. I mean, for example, I really liked the late junior game. It was fun. It was frustrating, but it was also fun. But I'm not sure it was an interesting stream. I thought the curling game, which was completely insane, was more fun to watch, in my opinion. But what do I know? I would like exhibition games. I would recommend OOTP. I'm not sure what it is. It's not O game, I think. But again, if you want to dictate or anything, feel free to do so. Baseball. I think baseball is only about stats and spreadsheets, which is why it fits so well to card games or to cards, because you can. It was PSE that became free to play. I mean, there are always alternative ways, right? Either you have to send me the game, or I find some alternative way. I would of course not spend 60 euros for to play a game for 2 hours. Because I am actually not rich. I could spend it, but you know, right? It's still 60 euros. I could buy, I don't know, 4 crates of beer for that. Or 5 pizzas or something like that. Oh yeah, I wonder how the new football game from EA will be. The how do you call it? Football game, football something FM something, I don't know, 24, something like that. Because it's no longer FIFA, right? Is there actually a FIFA game this year then? Or next year? I'm not sure. Or will they not even finish that? I'm not sure it's actually called. The game from EA, yes, EAFC, yeah, that could be it. And I think a few people were already laughing about it because they showed like 20-30 player standing around, and the faces were very weird. It is, they just dropped the FIFA license, yes, exactly. But there's no wonder, if it's all dropped, what can you even do with it? I mean, the carrier mode, for example, right? It had the carrier mode, sorry. It had quite a few parts where famous players were shown up all the time. And of course they can't do that anymore either. So that mode is probably dead. And how will actually the new FIFA game look like? It will probably complete shit, but it will be fun to see it, I think. I guess it's just how dumb it will be. Which reminds me, there's actually a new... What was it? A new Gladiator game. VVR Prepare to Die, I think it's called. It's still in early access, but it looks very promising. Hopefully it will be as fun for real when it comes out. Speak with the beerers, for some second I read, speak with the beers, and you know, after the beer scene in Baldur's Gate 3, that could be a real thing. I don't think they've lost all licenses, just some of them. I mean, even PSE had a few players available for them, right? Or a few teams. But the general FIFA license is gone, so maybe they have to make other licenses with some players in clubs and divisions, but they have to pay extra for that. Or they have to play the licenses on their own. And we are now being attacked by the Black Shields. Yeah, I'm very excited how that will look like. I probably won't play it, but I'm sure it will be very fun.
マスターに命を救われた。だからその思いを遂げてもらうために生きてきたんだ。マスターはこの戦いが終わったらきっと死ぬつもりだろう。でもあの人が決めたことなら最後まで成し遂げさせてあげてほしい。それが俺たち同志全員の思いだ。ああ、分かってるよ。
I assume it's not just as simple as going home, right?
なあ、村のみんなはどこに行った？まさかもう先に？
ああ、とっくにマスターと共に出たはずだが。
は
あ？行き違いか。
何があった？
ああ、俺はマスターの仇が潜む古い屋敷を偵察してたんだ。奴が飼ってたのは黒騎士だけじゃなかった。
And we still haven't found this stupid water monster, right?
The
water Aiken, I'm sorry.
そんなマスター頼むシド、マスターを助けてくれないか。あの人が思いを遂げる前に死なせたくはないんだ。
すぐに向かう。
その屋敷はどこだ？ここからずっと東の森にある。
I think we were there already, and we found a chest there. I tend to remember stuff like that. Chests are important. Yes, it is exactly like that. I think, with the exception of some stadium names, Big Ten clubs, American clubs, the club games are the same. But I think EFC lost initial team license. If it's, I guess it will be the same as PSE or PES. You know what I mean, right? So they will have the licenses for a few teams or a few leagues, maybe. But most of the stuff will not be real. It will have fake names, fake faces, and fake whatever. That's what is what I am expecting. Of course, it could be different. Maybe really 90% will be still the same. Could be. But that is not my expectation. I really think most of the things will be different. Or, yeah, will simply be different. Bagu. If it's good, games will mod in the release anyway. Yeah, you're completely right. On the other hand, it's quite a while that FIFA was good, right? I think it mostly ate up its licenses. I think you're wrong, but we will see, Kino. I think it will be exactly like PES, sorry, where 99% will have fake names. And then it will be modded in somehow. If it's good, of course. If it's real shit, then nobody will think about it for any longer. But the real interesting question will be, how will the new FIFA game look like? That's the real question, and I'm very excited to see that. Which reminds me, I think I asked it earlier, but did any one of you guys watch the Women's Football World Cup thingy? I think they had the first game already, right? I read it in our media. You watched it, or you know about it, or what? They're dead. Watch this today. I think the English are favorites, something like that, right? I watched both. Did they already play? Didn't they? Don't they play like 3 AM or so? I didn't, but I saw New Zealand upset Norway. Oh, that's always nice. New Zealand is the host, right? It's always great when the host upsets people. Oh, I can't wait for Germany for the male Germany to die in the cup, in our own cup, and Flick finally to be fired. Oh, I hate him so much. US favorites, then England, Netherlands, and Norway seem rated okay. I'm doing the favorites for the like top 5. Alright. I think German media said English is good, America is good. Germany also good, I think. Not sure how real it is. And Brazil, yeah. Which is 9 AM and 12 AM, really? I thought it would be much later. I really thought like they were like 3 AM or 6 AM, stuff like that. Because that would actually be a nice time to watch it. But the game is actually good. The quality of female football rise. Because the last few games I was watching like 2 or 3 years ago, everyone told me that women's football is so good by now. It was still shit. I mean, not completely entertaining, yeah. But many technical errors, like not able to... Wait? Not able to get to the ball correctly and so on, playing with passes and not just once or twice, but all the time, you know. Yeah, as long as it's entertaining, who knows. If they play really at 9 or at 12 AM, I wanna watch it too, I guess. Franco, all football is boring, is not the women's fault? No, that's not true. Sometimes they are really good games, and I like to go into the technical aspects. So the USA are betting favorites, followed by Spain, England, Germany, Austria, France, Sweden, Netherlands, and Brazil in that order. Alright. Oh, you're such a nice guy, Quentin. So now that you've won, you no longer need to help the beers, right? No, it's vengeance. Which reminds me, there's a vengeance paladin at BG3 apparently, right? No. Quinten, not Quantan. That was not even close to the real name. Not even fucking close. Master! Lost to Wingo! What? Got it? Flooded? What is this, a water attack from Dynasty Warriors? Looks okay enough. Just with no people. At least to me. What? It looks still the same. Exactly the same. Ah, flooded by ether. Ah. Technically, the women games tends to be pretty good. The issue is usually physical level is quite as high as the top of the men's game, so I think the betting on is good, but it's also a problem with English football. Right. Yeah, maybe also related to it, because if you got less physical fitness and you played for 90 minutes, then, you know, after 90 minutes, you're simply toast, and then you cannot play as well at that amount of, at that point, right? Because I saw a few games, and there were really many technical errors in it. But it could have been in the second half mostly, where they toast already, you know? It's a point I didn't consider actually. Good one. Oh, they're dead already. I think. One, two. 1, 2, 1, 2. Boom, boom, you're dead. You also don't have a ST at the bottom of the tournament in the women's game. Does that not count this? It's not yes, that's a big point too. Although, I think they're making big steps, and especially teams like the US or England or Germany, they actually go very far. They actually may have bigger teams and better teams than, well, not bigger and better, but on the same level or similar level or professional enough, let's say, that they can have very good games or very good players. I mean, it's also not having one-sided games is also not something unusual in the men's teams, right? Often enough, it's very similar. At least in the past, maybe not. Oh, yeah, now you said sure. Maybe it has changed a little bit, but often enough you have, I don't know, Spain play against, I don't know, Japan, for example. And if it's not like the best game of Japan in the last 20 years, then Japan will lose like 7-1 or 5-0, something like that. That's also very normal, right? Yeah, but there's cost separation between the top 8 teams and others, so you will probably get less upsets. Yeah, but it's similar in the men's team. Maybe not at the last 4 or so, but quarterfinals or last 16. I feel it's very normal that you have some team that is barely going through its group and then playing against a favorite and getting trashed. That happens quite often. If they both play at their expected levels, of course. Because then you got teams like Germany, which currently is complete shite, and other teams like Iceland in the last or the second to last cup, where they beat England and was in the nearly in the final and stuff like that, right? But for every upset, there's a destruction coming on. I think that's not too crazy, actually. And I think most of the things that are no longer unexpected is the fault of FIFA, because they tend to more teams, more games, and so on. And so there's more filtering going on in the end. Oh, look, this is BB, the beer boy. Saboy. But anyways, yeah, I actually was not thinking. I was thinking about them playing pretty badly. But the thing with the level is actually a very good point. That the physical level is not as high, but they play the same amount. So actually, I'm wondering why the women teams still play 90 minutes on the same big field, because it's no big secret that women have less endurance and less physical power, right? Wouldn't it make sense of maybe a smaller field, only 10 players and only, I don't know, play 80 minutes or so? It feels like something like nobody was thinking about it, and when somebody was thinking about it, they said, women, the women game is the same as a man's game. We can't change it, or people will belittle it. It's a little like this, to be honest. Because, hey Anderson, other games just change technically, so you have slower build-ups and less pressing in the men's game. I mean, kinda. But if you do quicker build-ups and do more pressing, then you can have an advantage, right? This stream solely lacks a Dutch tag. Why? What did they do this time? I was reading that they went to make a smaller rugby ball for women's rugby as it's better suits women's head differences. Yes, that's a very good point. Deutsch. Similar to football, actually. Because if you got smaller feet in general, why not use a smaller football? I mean, there are smaller footballs for children and so on, for exactly the same reason, right? Because feet are smaller, and there are like 3, 4, 5, 6 different sizes actually. But it really feels like someone said, we must ensure that women are not belittled, or women's football is not belittled, you know, so they have to play the same rules as men. It just basically just means the women's game is more like the Spanish game, so more passing around and not scoring any goals. Is that what you're saying? I think the Spanish football, the tiki-taka, whatever, what I'm thinking of, is not developed for higher temperature, but because they had very good, very technical players, and playing all the time, having the ball all the time, is a good idea in general. Smaller players too? I'm not sure if the players are that much smaller. I think you had quite a few forwards and defenders in Spain that are not small at all. Yes, there are a few players that are smaller and which are very, very good. Not just Messi, which is Argentinian, of course, but I think also Busquets, for example, was quite small, right? But that's not a... I'm not sure about that, to be honest. I mean, even the current German team is like that. Many very good midfielders, which are usually very, very small. I mean, not very, very small, but smallish. That are barely 170 or something like that. I mean, it's good for agility because you have less leg to move. But then you have players like, I don't know, Müller, for example, that just stands there awkwardly and somehow scores a goal. It's so weird seeing him play. General top players use more athletic counter-attacking. I wouldn't say that per default. Because even a small player can move his leg and get in between a ball and take the ball and then counter. It's more the... more playing rough and having things like headers and so on, where you can really use your height. But attacking or defending per default, I don't think size is a real advantage. It's really headers and using your mass to push players away. And if a big player pushes a small player away, it's also very often called a foul. So I would argue your point in that case, Kino. Isupuluka. And Anderson, we are speaking in Japanese here because some very, very evil Chosro curried. Not saying they can't, just a lot of stronger players have advantage in fast tempo football. I don't know. I think you're right. The fastest players, when you think about, they're always very big players. Like, how's the guy called it? The Haaland, or the guy from Wales. Wales? No, Bale? Something like that. Yeah, but it's not like they completely lose out, right? It's not like you got one team with 5 very big players that run the 100 meters in 3 seconds or something like that. It's normally a very high top-end speed where they can overrun the opposition, but that means you have to fuck up beforehand that they actually can do that. And the normal speed can be very high for small players too. Japanese is kind of weird in the game with obvious forks-driven characters. Oh, you have no idea. A bit sharing me personally, also in cartoons. You have no idea, man. But that's Knafel's fault. He also had other languages available, like Portuguese and Spanish and German and French and whatnot. But Chosro chose to be Japanese. It's all his fault. And then he ran away. I haven't seen him writing in a few minutes. Wait. Please wait for me. Get it?
マーサから話を聞いた。イーストプールへ移住するそうだな。
ええ。マーサさんから電話がありまして。
I'm sorry, Chosro, but that can't be because I see Kino Anderson writing and also Finboy and Knafel too, right? But I only see 3 viewers. So you can't be here. I'm sorry, Chosro. You're not really here.
そうか。俺もイーストプールの奪還を手伝うことになった。何でも言ってほしい。
ありがとうございます。クライブ様にご協力いただければ必ずや奪還できましょう。
それでウェイド卿、状況は？
すでにお聞きになったかと思います。
And Anderson, did you see all the kaiju fights in this game?
野党の根城となっています。
They're so good. Best part of the game, I think. I think for RPG, the game is not very good because it doesn't tell the small details between the high points of the story. But the kaiju fights, they're so good. That blue one, you don't even know what the blue one is. One fight with Shiva, maybe? Weird fight with our Shadow Self, weird fight with a Phoenix, weird fight with Titan, weird fight, not against, but with Shiva, with Garuda, against Bahamut, which was a triple kaiju fight, and where we merged with Phoenix, and so on. Often these players with great athleticism, it's better to play high-risk football and just giving the ball away, as you want to put them in opportunities where they can, after the division, putting the ball over the top. I mean, you don't play risk for the sake of maybe it could work out. You play risk because you think you have a good chance of doing it, right? So you think you got a 70-80% chance that it will work out. That's why you're doing it. No matter your size and no matter your athleticism. You create your chances where you think you can do it, and then you do it or not. The plays may and will look different, of course, depending on what kind of players you have available. But in the end, it's still about managing risk. The reward is higher when Haaland's running. Yeah, because Müller doesn't run, Müller just awkwardly jogs, then puts out his feet, and somehow he scores a goal. Yeah, they use a hand axe, that's right. No, I mean, I understand what you mean, right? Obviously, you have different plays and different simply availabilities, what you can do and what you can't do with different players. And I'm just saying the possibilities you have and the plays you can do, they switch with the type of player you have and not necessarily they are not available at all or there's no chance at all for certain type of players. They're just different chances. And your team must make sure they can actually use them. But that could simply be something where we two have a difference of opinion, let's say, right? That would be fine too. Has someone signed anyone this summer? Yes, they signed a few people, but I didn't really check it, to be honest. It was nothing like where I say, oh yeah, that's the player this year. I saw a bit grumbling in my chat group that while Leverkusen buys really good players, Dortmund is playing only mid players. But I haven't really checked which players we actually bought so far. And of course, there's still time. And Dortmund tends to play to buy talents, good talents. But we have to see. Ah yeah, Nemcha. I bought him, and Nemcha is a good player, but the fan base hates Nemcha already, because apparently Nemcha liked a post from someone that hates gays or something like that. So, who knows? I have to see if that actually works out. But Nemcha himself actually should be a good player. And I think he has a not German name, but actually I think he's German, right? Is he? Or is he only playing here? Not sure. Yeah, he will have a tough start, and it's difficult in Dortmund, where the fans are a very big part, and actually help out quite a bit with the yellow wall and whatnot. Of course, maybe they forgot about it, and maybe he scores like 10 goals in the first 3 games and they love him somehow. We have to see. But he's playing upsides, right? Upsides? He's German but started at Man City. Ah yeah, something like that. Anyways, it will be difficult. But if he can pull through, then I'm sure they love him anyways. But just the start will be different. And if he cannot get past the start, well. Injuries in Germany too. Yeah, I think Germany had a few players which we stole from England, right? Or do I think of Nemcha? I think there was a second or a third even. Some youth players maybe. Not sure if they were real talents. I'm feeling like streaming this kind of difficult game on Saturday noon. Which game, Anderson? What game do you mean? Just difficult doesn't cut it. You need to give me the details. The sweet details. Yeah, I mean, in that case it's fine, right? Both would be okay. Nier, Tomato, or Noita? I actually know about both, but never played any of these. So I'm a bit ambivalent. But by all means, please always tag me. If I can, I always try to watch you guys. And of course, I love suffering. But England? Yeah, I'm sorry to say, Kino, but... No, I'm just joking. I'm just saying in this case of Nemcha, it's fair for him to play for both sides, and neither side actually can say, yeah, that's whole play. I think it's fine for either side.
本当に助かったよ。これでみんな新しい村で窮屈
Auch
せ
correctly
ずに暮らして
misspellings.
いける。
Okay.
新しい村か。名前はどうするんだ？
Burr moved to England.
イー
I
スト
see.
プール。村の名前はそのまま。ウェイド教が言って
I
た
thought it was a critique.
あの村を
But
愛した人
England.
々の思いを
England has earned it or something like that, you know?
そうか。彼らしい。
Which would be fine too, because you could be say, hey, he played in England, all lived in England all his life. Why is he now playing for Germany? That sucks. I hate it. It would be fine. But again, I think in this case, living in England but being born to a German father and so on, or to a Bulgarian mother, all three have a valid excuse to have them. It's not anything untoward in this case. I think there were other cases like some German father from 2 generations away or so, playing in wherever, living in wherever and then being called for Germany. That is a bit questionable in my opinion. Yeah, I think it should be more relaxed in general, right? Sure, you are for your team, for your nation, but it's still football and not who's getting anything to eat. Alright, so we did more side quests. We're still level 40, right? So I don't think we have a real chance of beating the big bad. Could learn more stuff though. Should we? Well, what do we have available actually? What's this? Raging Fists. Does sound nice, but actually blocking them is kind of difficult. It's always very, very rare for me to do that. Earthen Fury, drive profits to the ground, causing the land to surge upwards. Voila. Setting the enemy flying. I probably can't send small enemies flying. It looks very cool though, and it's an ranged attack apparently. So that could be useful. Giga Flare, fire massive beam of overcharged light. That could be very useful. Very useful. I think I want to have this one. I want to master that one. It looks also like a very, very good attack. And if I master that, I can give this attack to someone else, to another Icon. It will probably be very expensive because the 3100 is only an upgrade. Mastery comes after that. But I think I want to save on that and then give this ability to some of my other Icons and then use this ability for a very, very good ranged attack. Anyways, where did I want to go? Let's go back to Hideaway first and check if there's another notorious mark that is not the S-Class that keeps destroying me. It is actually. It actually is. I need to change the music too, because we got another role and we need to check it out. What actually does play. Let's see. What did we get? Ah, no risk, no reward? Maybe. Oh, that's fighting music. I'll like it. You can ignore these, but there's indeed another hunt board. And I think we even got a reward. Although I think the reward was only an item and no ability points. Very sad. Right, so Finboy, you said at 9 and at 12 that the teams played, right? I tried to check it out. Although I have my dailies between these times, sadly. So, we beat up this one here. That's good. This is the thing that kills us. What is that? A bee. The man in black. I see. It's a lost thing, actually. I know where lost thing is. Easy to find. We can do this. And we get a reward. Konnichiwa. A gift. Talisman of priming, whatever that does. Enclosed you will find an item, and we have now the Rising Flame, by the way. Enclosed you will find an item of high and strange order. One for which I require neither thanks nor recompense. Consider it a reminder of where loyalties are best placed. The Chapman? We don't know any Chapman, right? Next one would be at 1550. Let's see what this item actually gives us. No, it's a gear, not item. It's different in this game. time of priming, so it is yellow. Tomorrow will be at 4:30. You can ignore that. 7. You can ignore that too. 9:30. I could maybe watch, but I have my dailies around it, so maybe could catch the last one. The last half of the last one, rather. What does it do? Increase line tonic duration by 30 seconds. I mean, that's nice. But I'm not using the line tonics at all. So, line tonics are these here. They fill our limit break gauge for 33 seconds. In this case, it would double. So I guess you would have a very, very long limit break. Which could be good. Because limit break means we do more damage, we take less damage, we heal. It's pretty good. But this one here reduces our Flame of Rebirth cooldown by 5 seconds. Which is that one here. Oh. I didn't want to do this. Give me a second. Yeah. And this ability is very, very strong. Was it this one? No, this one. It heals us and it has a really long cooldown. No, it's again the wrong one. It's this one here. This one here, yes. It heals us. It's a very long cooldown. And the 5 seconds are really, really, really good. So I think I'm actually not taking the yellow item with me due to that. Lost something, he said, right? Lost wing. I think it was only B or so. Anyways, thanks for the info, Finboy. At least I know this now, and again, hopefully I can watch it the last game at least, because the first 2 games I'm probably still asleep. So in Lost Wing, they said, right? There's some monsters. Actually, is there a big place where we could fight easily? Either in the Hanged Man or in this direction here, I guess. So guys, if you see a monster running around, please tell me, because there should be one special monster in here somewhere. But I'm not seeing any so far. Maybe he's back here. That was where we had a small fight with Benedicta. Saturday is 3, 9, 11, 30, England play. Look, Finboy. I know you might be surprised, but I actually don't care that much about England playing. I know, it's crazy. I took the side. Saturday, I don't know. I'm heavily thinking of doing a very, very long stream Friday late night to all of Saturday, or most of Saturday. Namely, actually trying to one-shot Landstalker. So that I can check to do it as a WOS. It probably won't, but it would be fun to have it available and tested. Exciting. I actually like this game because it has a few nice mazes. Don't bro me, Gnaffle. It's a good game. Exhausting, yeah, it's exhausting, but it would be nice to do such a long stream for once. But again, I actually really like Landstalker, even though it's a Sega game. Mostly because the gameplay and so on is actually not bad, it's pretty well done. And, very, very importantly, Knaffle, stop broing me! And very importantly, the mazes and the puzzles and the isometric puzzles in itself are fun, for me at least. Where do I need to go there, man? Here? Knaffle, I swear to God. If you don't stop it, I will stop you. I won't, I'm too lazy for that. Where do I need to go? I'm sorry, I can't take Knaffle there. How do I go there actually, man? No, not here. So I want to go here, via the cellar passage, right? Because I expect the special monster could be there. And maybe from here down there? Yes, it actually could be the right. Maybe this could be the right way. I forgot about it, and it looks now very haunted in here. Oh yes, now I remember it. I remember this part exactly. Run for me. It's the wrong way. I'm going the wrong way. I hate it. Let's see. We are here. Further down, probably. Yes. That looks good. Delusional? You call me delusional? Well, maybe I am, but I would still like to do it. And if I can do it, I know, under 14 hours or so, I'm sure I can give it to Jake. And I could say, yeah, you know, on Nitro and Lucky played it, surely you can too. And then actually, well, maybe do it. That would be fun to do. Because an isometric game with mazes and no maps? Ah, Jake would love that. Ah, it's here. I knew it! The big bad. A holy trumpeter. Roo. At least I know which lobby to back. The win lobby, right? Right? I mean, it's some kind. What game am I talking about? A Landstalker. It's a Zelda clone from the Sega Mega Drive. And actually a better game of this console. No, it really doesn't flow. Really not. The other games are actually flow. But Landstalker is actually a pretty good game for its time. I mean it. Your mother blows, Knabbel. And the main thing is, it has a few nice puzzles, but it also has something that is part of the game, namely isometric. And it has quite a few jumping puzzles that are isometric. And personally for me, it was always fun to find out how I actually needed to jump, how it does actually work. In addition, of course, oh damn it, not here before. Yeah, I mean, it was a Sega Mega Drive game. If you didn't have a Sega Mega Drive or called a Sega Genesis, this is not that please, or called a Sega Genesis in the US, I think, then you simply wouldn't know it. Apparently we're winning, because the music sounds like we are winning. That's it? What a freaking flamethrower, man! Okay, we can do it up to 30 times. Done! This is your doom! Actually was. And anyway, it is a Zelda clone, like I said, but it's really a pretty good one. If you don't like the gameplay in general, of course you won't like it, that's just how it is. But it is not a bad game. On Steam, yeah, it could very well be. Probably part of some offer for the Sega Mega Drive. What was it called? Sega Mega Drive Suit or something like that. It even has a randomizer actually, which I found very entertaining. So let's see if we can find mid. Because apparently we actually care for mid, which we don't, but who knows? Something off screen. Ah, Gav, you're still here. That's mid and our uncle. I knew you should have named the stream. Wait, I did name the stream something mid, right? Mid 2. No holding hands. Yeah, that's gay. But it actually is mid again. I knew it. Called it. Yeah, you're mid. Yeah, that's cringe. Oh, please don't have a love story. Oh, I can't handle that. I can't handle that. Tip's head? Tip's fat daughter, Finboy. There's worse things than being mid. Are you sure about that? Remember our theater, Goetz? Oh yeah. Remember our theater we had with our uncle? That was bad too. Things? No, Kino. The rules have changed. Mid means bad. By now. So all the soldiers of the loot are Akashic and somehow under control and not berserk. Ultima. なんとも。
町の人たちは無事なの？死んだ、たくさん。
だが何人かは商人街を抜けた先にある。
I looked him in the villa, so the rich survived. That's what I'm hearing. The rich survived, the poor died.
アカシアは疲れを知らない。このままじゃいずれ奴らの餌食だ。生き残ってる人たちだけでも助けたい。
僕も手伝う。
二手に分かれよう。
We kill everyone.
俺は議事堂へ向かう。お前は屋敷の方に。
Ah, is this where Yeshua dies?
ジル、ジョシュアと頼む。
And chill. Both of them die, and we will be very angry and go berserk and kill Odin. Hopefully in another Kaiju fight. No tweaking.
うまく救出できても陸路で逃げ切るのは難しい。
了解、やってみるよ。
No problem. I fixed the engine we've never used before. Don't worry.
よかろう。
任せとけ。
バイロン、ガブ、行くよ。
バイロン様だ、バカ娘は。
行こうか。
Yeah, our brother gets the girl and we get the dog. That's how it works. Which reminds me, what level does Torgal have by now? Eventful? How eventful? Yeah, it was bad, I'm sorry. Where is it? Not here. Here. He's now a Dromi Striker, whatever the hell that means. His normal attacks are apparently maxed out, and I still have no idea how to actually use these. We have no map, so it's only a very small map where we currently are. Not much to do, hopefully. Not much to fail, not much to fight. Should be easy, right? Yeah, they don't look very nice. Wait, so you actually... Why are you only level 20, man? Is there any reason for that? Why you're only level 20? Even the monsters I fought outside were level 33 already. So do you think Harvard will... How do you think Harvard will do? I think Harvard is massively overvalued. He's a good midfielder. Maybe a good striker from the outside. But he's not a good striker from the front or for the front. Not at all. And if he's used at this position like he has been used quite a few times actually already, then he will fail. Without a doubt. If he's used as an outfielder or maybe in the midfield directly, then he can be very good. But he needs his speed. And if he cannot use his speed, if there's no chance for him to build up speed, then he will suck. If he will play as an 8, I'm not sure. I would rather rate him as an LM or RM. But if he has a little bit of how should I say, if he has a little bit of freedom to move how he wants to move, then it could be enough to get him started. Because he has the talent, he really has it. But again, he needs... Again? He needs freedom to move, freedom to run. That's where his strength comes from. If he gets that, actually gets that, then yes, he could do very well. But often enough, in the national team and also, I think also at Chelsea and so on, he was not allowed to do that. If he's allowed to do this, to run wild and use his creativity, he can be very, very good. But if he is not, then he's not very good. He's only good at that thing. Being creative, being quick, and being dangerous. And if you're not allowing him that, well, then you're not allowing him that, simply as it is, right? No, I don't want to get to that one. And he cannot play something else. That is his thing. The thing is, he's a bit like Müller. No, he's nothing like Müller. Müller really is... You can play Müller everywhere, and he's good. Well, everywhere offensive, right? Because somehow his foot simply is in there and he scores. But that's not the case for Havertz. Havertz has a strong shot, so he can do goals from the second row. He's creative, he's quick, but he is mostly offensive, and he does his quick offensive things. What happened to Dion? Yeah, just now, very good question. I would like to know that too. I have no idea what happened with Dion, if he's dead or not. I don't know. He's not existing any longer. Really, actually, Müller played quite a few times as a conventional striker. He didn't work as that, but he played as a 9 and actually scored quite a few goals. Because again, for some reason, he has his stupid foot in there somehow and scores. You can't explain Müller. He's just weird. The only thing up front next to Klose really... I mean, did Klose play at Bayern? I mean, yes, he did, but only for like 1 or 2 seasons. But Klose did the same thing that he did in the national team, also for Bayern. All year around. For like 10, 20 years. And often enough, Bayern had no real 9 playing, and they actually really used Müller as a 9. And he still scored. And don't ask me how, because I surely don't know. I have no idea how he scored. It's insane. But he somehow did. Yes, you could say this, Kino. They're both more dangerous because they mean potential danger, and they often play very well with that. Although they're still quite different. Because Harvest is more classical. Muller is a complete outlier. He makes no sense whatsoever. Yeah, I mean, in English, that's a thing. In Germany, not really. It's simply Müller doing Müller things, you know. Raumdeuter, yeah. It's, you might be surprised, but that's not really something you you say to Müller in Germany at all. Actually, not exactly like that. It's technically correct if you translate it like this, but it doesn't really get the meaning. It's more like I don't know. Yeah, I know. I know that it exists, but it's not really how it's called in Germany at all, and often enough, not exactly the same thing. He's more like a space interpreter, a space detective, right? He simply knows where stuff is happening, he stands around there, has his foot in and into goal. And like I said, it's really weird sometimes. I don't know how he does it, but he just does do it like that. He just doesn't care. It's often so awkward, not just where he stands, but often enough, he's in a position and he does a very weird movement. Very weird. Like, I don't know, putting his foot out like 45 or 35% angle, something like that, and it looks very weird, like he's lost his way or something like that, where he lost his stand. But that's enough to score. It's really weird. Maybe, I don't know, maybe there's some compilation where you can actually see that. And if there is, I would really say, yeah, let's watch this. It's a player that makes no sense, and this was goal. Is that it? Oh, what the fuck are you? Oh, that hurt. It was not very technical. I'm not sure about that, because if you see what he does, how he scores his goals, then I think he actually is a very technical footballer, because most of his goals you can't score without being technical. It's that weird. Yes, check your luck skill. Something like that, right? It is really something like that. Not even joking. And of course, if you do it once, fine. If you do it twice, okay. But if you do it like 500 times, then there must be something more to it, right? Holy! I don't think Pep was a fan. I actually think he was. I think he always played under Pep. Always. Are we good at dribbling? Yes. He didn't really dribble at all. He was, you could say, besides him not being a forward, he was a perfect forward. which makes no sense, but it matches so very, very well. I mean, Lam was the perfect right back. A shame Lam wanted to play as something else. Yeah, I think Lam wanted to play as, what was it? Defensive midfield or something like that. Which is a shame because he was world class as a defender and only very, very good as a midfielder. Yeah, he could also play left back. And yes, and I mean, I saw a video last time that told about the team of Germany's 214 team when they won the World Cup, and where they said the real change was using Klose as a forward, but I say no, that's wrong. The real change was when Mustafi got injured and Klose finally had to use Lam, where he should have been playing all time, as a right back instead of a midfield. Because they did that, and suddenly the shaky German defense was solid like nothing else, and then we could start our play from there. That changed everything. And I keep telling you, if Mustafi would not have been injured, and Lam would have continued, then Lam would have continued playing in the midfield, and we would be out at the quarterfinals. Well, surely we will have no boss fight here, right? It would be silly. You again, I hate you guys! Yeah, but he was so good as our RB. And the thing is, it's actually similar with Kimmich. Kimmich is also fantastic, really fantastic as a midfielder, as a right back, maybe even a left back. He's also very good as a defensive player. Sorry, as a defensive mid player. But you know what? We don't have that many defensive mid players. Sorry, right back players. If you could use freaking Kimmich as you assholes. If Germany or Bayern Munich could use Kimmich as a defensive player, then I think they would be much more effective. But Kimmich doesn't want to play there, and that's fine, I guess. This is prerogative, right? He can play wherever he wants. But if he would play as a right back or left back, then I would say he would be just as good as Lam was in his time. But hey, what can he do, right? I mean, this at least good for the enemies of Germany. They have their fun with us. Oh, finally the a-hole. Actually, why are you fighting me? If you know that I'm Mythos and you know Ultima wants me, why are you fighting me? Why are you fighting me and trying to kill me? Because if I die, then Mythos dies and Ultima cannot use me, right? So wouldn't it? So doesn't it make any sense for you to fight me? I have no idea what it just said, and it makes no sense to me because actually I didn't understand it. It's just I like cool people, basically, is what Harvard said. What a funny helmet. Use Sleipnir. Well, it makes sense because there's Odin, right? Good, kinda at least. Let's see, what can you really do? What did you just do? I have a... Ah, yeah. Okay, I see. That attack sucks. Need to dodge it at the exact correct amount of time. Just 1 second wrong and you can't really dodge it. Can you ravage him? No. Oh, then again. And there it goes. Oh, just do your thing. I keep going to it. I know what comes, but I think I can't counter it, and I keep not countering it. Why? That's right, because I'm dumb. Because your team. Is there any German team or Spanish team or English team or whatever team you also support, or is it only Newcastle United? I like Saint and Tien. That they were the green-white team or something like that, right? Real Betis is also green-white. I think some Dortmund player played at Real Betis, one of our defenders, which I really liked. But after the bus attack, he went away from Dortmund very sadly, and I think he went to Saint Etienne. Not sure he was. I think it was a Bath. And as a man, I have to say, beautiful coal eyes. I just don't remember his name, sadly. Yeah, it seems to be related to like green, right? Because both Betis and Saint Etienne have green. Green-white, I think. Both. Tonali? Oh, I hate this guy already. Youngmere, that was the spear, right? He's one of the fighting mad. Oh god, it's suddenly Dark Souls! And didn't have to be North? I mean... It's Odin, right? And Odin always was there, so... What did you expect? Gilgamesh? Good point actually. I don't think they showed Gilgamesh at all. Not sure if it even exists. Maybe Gilgamesh is the equivalent to Odin? Like we are the equivalent to the Phoenix? If it will appear though? Questionable. After all, and I keep saying that, we haven't even seen the water Aiken so far, which is apparently well known. Wait! Well known to as one of the A's. Aiken. Holy shit, man! I'm surprised I dodged all of that. Very surprised. Aradaska actually is... What was it again? It was the chipmunk or something like that of the tree, right? Not sure why he was summoning that one. Ow! Dodge that, a-hole! I saw it coming a mile ago! Ow! That hurt though. Come on, do something. Scar of Nibelung. Do you have any attacks that are not north? Because I'm doubting that heavily. Again with this. The dogs just stand around here not doing anything. Oh, that hit me. Alright, let's kill him dead. Should we? Or rather, shall we? Ho ho! You didn't do that last time. Or I just dodged it earlier. Alright. Let's go mad, like dancing mad. Feel the phoenix! Has this been a football stream all along? Actually, Finboy, what do you expect out of Newcastle this year? I think you were Champions League, right? Do you think you have a chance to play for the title? Or for the FA Cup? Or how far do you think you can play in the Champions League? He's dead, Jim. Yeah, I would love all three. Everyone does that, but what do you expect? What do you hope for? If it's very endgame already? Yes, it does. There's only one Mother Crystal left, one known icon left, besides Ultima, whatever he is, right? And the sky is dark and foreboding. Sorry. So it really feels like, I don't know, 1, 2, 3 more streams and it's over. And suddenly only one is watching me? Huh? How does it work? What do you mean you hope? Please tell what's going on. Oh, blue color? Doesn't mean Ultima. Hot take is Nikas hope we get fired. Nikas won't do as long as last year. Nikas want to get a higher reputation manager. Playing twice a week is quite difficult. Yes, it is. It's not just difficult, it is, well, very difficult, right? I heard of quite a few people that were going on about how good the voice actor for Barnabas is and how good Barnabas as a character is, but so far Barnabas to me seems to be like every other character, which means potential but shallow. Mostly because not enough explanation going on. I mean, you'll probably will reach Champions League as Seed 4. And that means you can have a very hard group. But if you can push past that, which is often possible, then who knows? Then everything is possible, right? Ah, come on, don't do such a stupid fake. Yeah, maybe your Lord Commander sucks more than we do. Could you maybe do a real fight? We fought better all the time, you know. We fought better 20-30 times like this. It's so weird how we fight, right? Really big swings, barely connecting, and we are fighting much better. It's so weird that they made this. I mean, I know where we're going with this scene. We're not that good and so on and so forth, but we were fighting much better, much more dynamic, much more quicker than that. And suddenly we looked like as we swung the sword, swung the sword for our first time, which is very weird. Oh, will we have a Kaiju fight? Let's Gungnir again. It was kind of impressive. I was hoping that Chelsea would go down. It would be so funny. Could we please stop being an idiot and fight as he did the last 50 hours ago? So silly. You know, I don't think this is good or dramatic. It makes us look silly. It doesn't make Barnabas look strong. It makes us look silly. And we fought quite a bit better the last time. Quite a bit better. Not the last time, all the time. Let me guess, he killed Shiva? But she's our waifu! You can't do this. That's so stupid, you know? We got 3 dominants here. We could fight as Shiva, Ifrit and the Phoenix at the same time and smash this bastard. Instead, Shiva is getting mauled, probably dying. Can't be serious, man. Also, I'm really not a fan of the last half hour. I think it was very stupid in multiple ways. I mean, you saw us fighting all the time, right? How we attacked the monsters, our special attacks and whatnot. It looked fluid and agile, more or less. And then we looked like a bumbling fool suddenly. And that was not because Barnabas was super strong. I mean, maybe he is, right? But how we did our attacks, we stumbled to him. It's just badly done. And I hate that the story did that to us. I really do. So, is she dead? What about Chill? At least airship time. Jostro. Nice idea. I don't think we are at airship time. I think we are at sea ship time.
何これくらいしか役に立てんからな。わしに構うことはない。
そんなことは。俺たちの隠れ家だけじゃなくて、あれの建造にも多大な資金援助を。
感謝しきれませんよ。
ただの小娘にここまでしてくれるなんてさ。
Huh? Some girl? What are you talking
あ
about?
んたたちみんな変わってるよ。
Are we talking about Mid? Because we don't know Mid at all. As far as I know.
兄さん、気がついたか。
Is that his real name, Kino? Kvarat Shekila? Arsenal? Oh, I'm so sorry, Kino. I'm so sorry for you. I know Arsenal TV. It's very funny. But it's funny because it's sad, you know?
そうだな。
心配かけやがって。
奴らは
町のアカシアたちは姿を消した。
Along with Galleon and Chill.
バルナバスもそこだろう。
Oh, Rombi's also an Arsenal fan? I didn't know that.
クライブ。ジルが
I mean, I don't really watch Arsenal TV, right? But I sometimes see a few clips.
あんたを逃がすために盾になったって。
Yeah, but it's very funny, man. It's so funny. Is she though?
僕もそう思うよ。
How do you know this?
芝のエーテルは
How do you know this?
いないから。
Is this a new thing that we know the ether of the Akan?
アインヘリアルを追う。ジルはきっと奴のところだ。
そんなこと言っても船はまだ動かせないぞ。
Your ship? What, it was our ship.
ミスリル機関の出力に部品の方が耐えられないんだ。
何か手はないのか。
あ、そうだ、父さんも設計の段階で気づいてたはず。なら必要な部品も。
That's so... That's like an hour of side quests to get the ship getting ready. And it's very anticlimactic, I think. That is, I mean, it's not a side quest, it's a main quest, of course, but it's a side quest in that we need to fix the ship somehow, do quests to get the ship going, right? And that's, at this point in the story, is very anticlimactic, because we want to go right now, after Barnabas, of course, and get Chill back. So doing some other quests to fix the ship so that we can then finally go after Barnabas. After we simply teleported to the hideaway here, it's a bit weird, you know? Just a bit. Alright, let's take a look at the new Notorious Marks first. But again, I know where it comes from. It makes sense from the game's perspective, how the game works so far, how the game wants to be played. The Sickle and Damikia, okay, but it makes it really makes no sense, at least not to me, from a pure story perspective, from a lore or what's the real name? Not tempo. Story explanation tempo? I think there's a real word for that, but I'm not remembering that. But yeah, I think they ruined the tempo how to tell the story with that. Again. Why is this rune place suddenly better than what I have? Yeah, I know tempo is a word, but I think there's a real word especially for that. For the tempo of a story, you know? And I just can't remember what the correct word for that is. Because there's one special word. Or maybe multiple, of course, right? But, you know. What's the name you received? A rune belt. Well, it's better than mine, apparently, so I make that. A rune whatever. Sure. Rune blade. Sure. Upgraded ABS. Sure. Pacing? Yes. Maybe not. Maybe there's also another word, but something like pacing at least. Because again, we barely fought the battle. The guy ran away, or okay, walked away. Our friend, possible girlfriend, is injured, possibly taken in or captured by this guy. We want to go after him to get Jill back. That's also what we said. And what is our next action? Well, we just teleport back to our headquarters. And then we slowly think about how we can actually build our ship that we apparently should have had since like 40 hours, so that we can go after this guy. And again, I know where it comes from, because every part of the story has like, you finished one big part, then you do 3 side quests and 2 small main quests, and then you actually do what's available. I mean, yeah, it's fine in context, but I still think that something like Pace is better overall. Clive, I can begin to thank you for all you have done for Lost Thing. So in lieu of, probably is too wrong, of any awkward remerciements, I hope you guys know the word because I've never seen that before. I can imagine what it means, but I've never seen that word before. I shall be sending several barrels of next season's vintage. I can only hope they finally turn you off that foamy swill you and yours so cover. Quintet, no, be a superior, I'm sorry. Duty. My Lord Marquess, in your absence, shall I watch over my new charges? In your absence, shall I watch? It sounds like a question, but it isn't a question somehow. In your absence, shall I watch over my new charges, affording them every protection I'm able? I only ask that you do the same for His Grace, Giote. That's also very weird for me, because the first half sentence sounds like a question to me. But it's not a question, somehow. Weird. Yeah, I mean, I can get that from the sentence, Kino, but yes. But the word itself, I've never really seen it, you know. On our own terms. I regret that both you and the lump had to get all tangled up in the wicked weave of my sordid past. But thanks to your meddling, I was finally able to put to rest matters that were left too long to fester. And with that finally done, might be I can sit back and enjoy these new world of yours. You're so keen on creating. One don't need a pair of eyes to see the good you've done. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's French? Yeah, I imagine that. The evil French again. Alright, let's speak with Otto and the Song of Hope. Yo.
帰ってきたか、クライブ。カンベルの様子はどうだった？ああ。
It's not a commonly used word though. Yeah, I know, Kino. I know so much. Tell the story in the offset again.
そんなことがあったとは。ひとまずみんな無事でよかった。
Are you sure? You don't know what Shuri is doing. Hey? Writings? What writings? Ah, the writings of Sid, right. For a second I thought about the Tabor writings. But if you already got them... The Gospel according to Sid? Yeah... Again, I would rather call it very weird. Especially that apparently Sid already had the stuff, also the old Sid. Mid got the stuff, but never actually read it apparently, and now doesn't know what's going on, and that's why we had to teleport instead of going after Barnabas. What? But again, you have to do 2 or 3 needless main quests to continue with the actual main quest. And it ruins the pacing, it ruins the tempo. Because right now, we should be going after Barnabas. Getting Chill back. And instead he teleported to our hideaway. Need to pad out the game? I'm not even sure if they did pad out the game. Or wanted to pad out the game. I really think they have it in their head. Every story part has 3 or 4 main quests and 3 side quests. Full stop. You know? And that's how they structured the game. And of course that's stupid. We needed grinding. But we are not even grinding! We're not fighting any monsters or anything like that. We are simply running around and trying to find a few items. That's not even grinding. I mean, if we were getting bashed or if we need a special item to drop or whatever, right? That would be grinding, yeah. But that's not what we're doing. We're running around and trying to find things. I mean, at least for me, grinding was always fighting monsters until you get levels or money for gear or whatnot, right? But not running around in a town, basically, and getting quests done. Yeah, more fetch questing here. That's something I really don't like. That's so weird to me. It's so out of pace, out of tempo, out of space, out of whatever. It's just not right. And if it was Mid's first great work, right? Why doesn't she remember that? Are you kidding me? You did something great, you wrote your father and then, I forgot all about it. Blah blah, I don't care. I really don't care at this point. I'm so past caring anything. You have no idea how much. I'm getting mad about this right now. I'm getting actually mad about this. Because it's so silly, so stupid, so tempo ruining. I'm just mad about this. I don't give a shit that there's some kids and the thing is broken, man. I don't care. Skip. Because it doesn't matter. See? What I just skipped didn't even matter at all. I still need to expect that thing to continue with the quest. The thing I skipped did not matter at all. I don't care about the waifu, I care about the pacing. And stupid BS. Again, I just skipped that part. And this, what I skipped, didn't even matter. I'm so mad about this. Yeah, I fixed it, I'm so good. Now let me kill you. It's the stupid Magnus Opum from her. We need that. And that's something that Sid did and admitted and somehow forgot all about it. Because she's stupid like that. Why is that a thing? I mean, really, why doesn't she remember that? She didn't even say please get that. She said, I don't know what I can do. Please check my father's stuff. And then it's something she built? Are you kidding me? What? The Crown Prince was here? Blah blah blah. I'm so mad right now. Because it makes no sense what we're doing. None whatsoever. And we have to do it. And not just us didn't make any sense, but we have, it's like we have to do 40 parts in between. Oh, I'm sorry. But I'm really mad about this. It's so silly. So really, really silly. Alright, give me the quest. Give me the quest. Give me the quest. I don't care who you are. Again, another quest for the stupid blacksmith, which we already did like 3 or 4 quests for. I'm mad. And of course I'm bad, not this time. What's with you next this time? What do you want? Fire's busy? Okay, that's fine. Someone's lying there, petrified. Talk to her. Yeah, sure. Did I already mention that I'm mad? Because I am. I'm so mad. Isaac also was a Dortmund player, right? So, how are you doing? Stuff from your past, you know him, okay, he's dying. Very sad. I get something that you want, so that you feel better. I get it. You could have said it in 1 sentence instead of 20. Yes. I think it's actually Swedish, that's true. He was at Dortmund for, but only for a year or 2. I think we bought him from Swedish team like Malmo or so, but it didn't work out. He was hoping he would be, I don't know, the next whatever, but he wasn't really successful. It was quite sad because he looked like to be a nice chap, but I think there was too much expectation for him. Alright, you're unhappy and there's again something that you want to have. So what is it? What is it this time? Another item! That's so silly. It's like the 3rd or 4th item that he saw but didn't buy, and we need to get him now so that he's happy again and can build our stuff. And look how much text there was! I mean, I get that they want to make more details to the story, right? But they're doing it very badly because they're not really telling about the story. They're adding additional parts that you don't care about instead of adding to the story somehow. Blah 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 blah. It's fine. Yes, I bring you your stuff. Not a problem. And it really doesn't matter. They're really side quests from some MMO or so. It's so bad. I'm mad. We could have ignored all of that all the time. What we're just doing. Because it doesn't matter at all. Not at all. Don't forget, currently, Chill is at Barnabas. Barnabas is getting further away. And we're doing all of that while he's getting further away. Isn't that great? No, it's not. Right, new monster. Show me where. Mobile. It's carrot and it's the Whispering Waters at Messiah. I have an idea what it is. Good. I know this. Is there more? Show me the map. So we are at 40. I think we're kind of close to 41 actually. I will not return to areas. I'm mad. Alright, missing waters for this area. I think that's somewhere here. Let me take a look. Whistling Waters. I was expecting it to be around here somewhere. Apparently it's not. But I can buy new stuff here. Alright, you know what? I quit here. For today I'm having enough. Whistling Waters. It's here. I'm having enough. I still like the game. But right now I would lower the game from 7.5 to 7. Because I'm so mad at the story right now. Anyways, I stop here for now, for today. Tomorrow, I will probably play 2 more hours before Lucky plays. And then after Lucky has finished his normal game, maybe I will actually do the super long saga. We will see. For now, thanks guys that you were here with me and that you listened to me griping with the game. Always nice to see you chat in here. Have a nice day, a nice night. And see you hopefully tomorrow. Bye bye.